citizens to leave more than a dozen Middle East countries due to safety risks after strikes by the U.S. and Israel on Iran, which have killed Iran's supreme leader. President Trump says they were the last best chance of addressing the threat posed by Iran's ballistic missiles and nuclear program. CBS's Matt Gutman spent time earlier near Jerusalem at the site of a missile strike by Iran on a synagogue. 9 killed.
These missiles are not rockets. They are guided systems. They are the size of a bus, essentially, 45, 50 feet long. They weigh tons. The warhead itself can weigh 1,000 pounds. That's what hit that town. And it obliterated the synagogue, a community center, and houses. And we saw the blast radius. It was hundreds of yards. And I spoke with one woman who survived in this community bomb shelter. Her neighbors around her were killed. She was buried in rubble. Her boyfriend dug her out.
Videos of the Clintons' Epstein testimony have been released.
Lawmakers question the former president and Secretary of State about their ties to the convicted sex offender.
I had no idea about their criminal activities.
Hillary Clinton testified first.
I never flew on his plane or visited his island.
A day later, when it was Bill Clinton's turn,
I did take those plane trips with him.
But he denied having any awareness of Epstein's criminal activities. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Both the FBI and police in Austin, Texas say that it's too soon to identify the motive behind a deadly mass shooting early yesterday outside of a bar. 2 people died, 14 more injured. Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis.
This is a complicated and large crime scene. Our priority is finding answers and the motives behind this crime.
The suspect was shot and killed by police. The case of a man who's accused of giving his son a high-powered weapon used in a deadly 2024 Winder, Georgia high school shooting is now in the hands of the jury. CBS's Skylar Henry.
The defense maintained Colin Gray had no idea what his son Colt was capable of. Meanwhile, prosecutors charged Colin Gray ignored the warning signs of Colt's mental health decline.
Colin Gray has pleaded not guilty to more than 25 charges. Police misconduct has been especially costly for the nation's biggest city. CBS's Jim Krasula reports.
New York City paid out more than $117 million last year to settle police misconduct lawsuits in cases ranging from violent arrest to protesters in 2020 to bad police work that led to wrongful convictions in the 1980s. That's according to a newly published analysis of city data.
Stocks closed mixed on Wall Street. Oil closed up almost 6%. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, as the U.S. attacks Iran, Washington's congressional delegation weighs in. It's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Sounds good, Aaron. In South Center, we just cleared an earlier crash. Northbound 405 approaching State Route 167. It left you with a thick backup, though, on 18. Eastbound 518 jams up at Highway 99 onto 405 there in South Center. South Center to Bellevue, give yourself 25 minutes. Coming the other way, it's also 25 minutes from Bellevue to South Center. You're bumper to bumper from Southeast 8th and Bellevue through Factoria. In Auburn, westbound 18 is heavy from the Valley Freeway over to Military Road, where we recently cleared a stall out of your way. And speaking of the Valley Freeway, South 5 is heavy from Algona into Sumner. Here in Seattle, North 5 heavy approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. And again at Mercer across the Ship Canal Bridge, 25 minutes through downtown. South 5 looking pretty good. Eventually jam up there on the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 35-minute drives. And a reminder, on days like this when it starts getting warmer, keep an eye out for more motorcycles on the freeway. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Members of Washington's congressional delegation now reacting to the U.S. military strikes in Iran. Representative Adam Smith, a Democrat, is the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee.
We're in a full-scale Middle East war. We don't know exactly what it is that success would look like. What are we trying to accomplish, and how long is it going to last?
Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner calls the attack important and necessary. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Baumgartner responded to critics who say Trump acted outside the powers granted to him as president.
Many people that are saying it's illegal are also the same people that said nothing when President Obama attacked Libya. Or said nothing when we were using justifiably military force against the Houthis.
He says he fears potential terror attacks in retaliation. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police are looking for a suspect who they say shot a legally blind man in the Chinatown International District this morning. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
The shooting happened just after 11 o'clock near 5th Avenue South and South Weller Street. The victim, 40 years old, was shot twice in the leg and the suspect fled before police arrived. SPD Detective Eric Munoz.
As far as we can tell, this was a completely random attack that targeted a legally blind man.
The victim is expected to survive. If you have any information, call the SPD Violent Crimes Tip Line at 206-233-5000. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And a reminder that if you ride state ferries and pay with a credit or debit card, you will start paying an extra 3% as of yesterday. That fee took effect. Officials say it will help the agency recoup the cost of processing card payments. The charge will not apply to people who use Orca cards or cash. Now to your weather updates. We are looking at a lot of sunshine today. A change tomorrow, though. Showers and cooler weather start to roll through. Right now, 58 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hey, John and team. Hey, this is one of your loyal friends out here out in Gold Bar, and I just want to let you know that I think your show is the greatest show on earth, and I really mean that because I've lived in lots of different states across the United States and around the world.
Wow.
And out of all the shows that are out there on the air, you guys are top-notch and world-class. You're always providing great information, honest information, and a good, honest opinion. So, hey, thanks very much. Keep up the great work. Your loyal listener. Bye now.
Bye now to you too. By the way, Joe, we're not asking every listener to call. I know we love that, but that's not the way. We're not trying to start, tooting our own horns here.
No, we
go blind to toot your own horns of the nuns used to tell us.
We just we air them as they come in.
All right, that one just came in from Gold Bar. Now the greatest show on earth without involving endangering elephants or tigers, or people that are vertically challenged.
Nice. Well done.
Okay, thank you. That's nice. That's a good way to start the show because I'm about to really step in it here with this one right here. This old monologue right here. I know. I feel like, Nate, get out the paddles. Get them ready. Fire them up in there. I might have to apply. You don't often see somebody having a heart attack bring their own pulse rate back by shocking themselves.
Only on this show.
Sorry, we go down together. All righty. Let's see. All this talk about we're going into Iran, blowing stuff up. I think you should keep this in mind, and I'll get more on it later. The United States and Israel blew up China's convenience store. Alexa, what's your favorite convenience store? Like a Quickie Mart? Can we call it Quickie Mart?
I like that is Metropolitan Mart, but 7-Eleven's good.
A 7-Eleven. Okay, that's better. Okay, so what we did is we blew up China's 7-Eleven. All right? Explain that more in a bit. Plus, Joe's gone down into the rabbit hole. He spends more time in the rabbit hole now. That the Epstein's, let's see, I got into this. Hold on a second. My news bed, make it sound like professional. Hang on. I got all the news right here, I believe. According to the guy from Gold Bar. That's all you need, everybody. All right, so Joe's been in the rabbit hole. We've gone down to Epstein's New Mexico ranch. I said to Joe pre-show, I said, most of this stuff is just affecting people that, didn't really do anything. We're just friends with Epstein. Just like, how dare you? Plus, let's see. Todd Myers is going to come by. As much as I goad him and try to get him to, blast the CCA stuff, which has already taken $4 billion out of our pocket, has not really reduced the world's temperature at all, but it certainly has lined the pockets of politicians and their friends, like the, $10 million to teach kids how to ride bicycles. Myers is going to hopefully bite on that a little harder for me. But more importantly, he is going to report on a letter that was sent by a bunch of tech folks to the folks in Olympia with dire warnings. Dire warnings. It's in the Wall Street Journal. You can read about it today. There, the letter is in there. Plus, also, cost of gas. This is where you're tied to hopefully be able to... I just need him... if he were angrier, if I could sense some sort of... something was gnawing at him... You know what I mean? You ever get in a bar with somebody and like, yeah, I feel the same. And get all riled up.
I think we can get him there.
I don't know
Come
about
on,
that.
man.
Come on. Let's see. Plus, polyamory finds something new. Legal protection. This is if you and like 2 other people are getting it on.
That's right.
You all right with that?
Sure.
Plus, Trump, the comments about the war in Iraq. We'll go back to all that. And then, is that the fake Jim Carrey? Have we determined it was a fake Jim Carrey or not? There's a guy who says he's got this latex mask and he can look like anybody. So Jim Carrey goes to France, accepts an award, and everybody's like, that's not Jim Carrey. That's the guy with the latex mask on. I mean, what's that look for? Why is the camera never on Joe? Why?
Nope. Don't have one.
Okay, fine. Can I have AI for this to help me with some of this? Because we're going to go from China blowing up the U.S. blowing up 7-Eleven China, and then also we need to talk about gold taking over currency. So, but don't have her on yet or have him on yet.
Yeah, you just let me know when you're ready to chat.
All right, okay. Ready? I was thinking, here we go. All right, so the convenience store. Iran is China's convenience store, which we'll refer to from now on as the 7-Eleven. What do you get there? Well, of course, you get oil. You get all your oil, if you're China, from that particular 7-Eleven. Plus, you're also able to buy and sell other things. What's also there? Supersonic anti-ship missiles are also available at this 7-Eleven. China put them there, by the way. And China likes to have them there because they want all of Iran's friends, other fellow terrorists, to be able to use those missiles. Now, let's talk about the oil for a second. So China gets about 80% of its oil at this particular 7-Eleven. And it loves it because it's cheap. And also what it does is it uses ghost ships. Ghost ships means it turns off its transponder and it comes sailing through any one of the straits that it can, and it doesn't have to deal with a whole bunch of other problems like taxing and things like that. So it's moving a whole bunch of oil that it gets from its 7-Eleven, and it secretly takes it back to China. It basically controls about 90 million people. That's the total population that works there at that 7-Eleven. In 2016, China went to its 7-Eleven, Iran, and they met together, and they said, listen, we'd like to work together, okay? We want to have our economies working together. So in 2021, China said to this 7-Eleven, also known as Iran, let us start building a bunch of infrastructure for you. Let us take care of your energy, transportation. We also want to work on your technical stuff as well. We'll allow you to be able to spy on all your employees at the 7-Eleven. If you notice that any of your 7-Eleven employees start sending stuff here or there and start saying bad things about you, don't worry about it, because we're China and we know how to control all technology, like surveillance. So, for instance, if you need to kill 7,000 of your 7-Eleven employees, you can do that and we can allow you to follow them. You want to round up 50,000 of them and question them for emails and text messages and things they looked online, we can help you with that as well. So at that point, China and the 7-Eleven/Iran are all in bed together. Why? Why all of this sort of stuff? Well, it all has to do with waterway transportation. In 2023, Iran, using its proxies, other terrorists, were able to attack U.S. ships in the Red Sea. This was really good for China, not so good for the United States, because the Red Sea has container ships and about 90% of them go through there. What it was an increased cost of U.S. economy, about $1 trillion, because now all of those ships had to go somewhere else and around. That's through the African Cape of Good Hope, which increases the cost of transportation, which increases the cost, which is inflationary, which isn't good. Lasting about 2 weeks, total cost about $1 million in fuel, additional $1 million in cost in fuel. So China is doing this to disrupt the U.S. economy. It knows that if it can have U.S. focusing on its 7-Eleven, i.e. Iran, and have everybody sitting there with all of our ships and all of our military ready to go, it's consuming a lot of U.S. economy and U.S. military. Like, for instance, those attacks that I talked about in the Red Sea, they cost a U.S. defense about a quarter of its high-end interceptor inventory. Just went down. We shot all those missiles out. That took a lot of money. We didn't have as many missiles. We had to get the missiles back again. So the U.S. military is forced to try to guard and control and stop anything happening in that particular 7-Eleven while other stuff is happening around the world. China loves this. China is able to meet with Gulf state monarchies. And it goes in and says, now, listen, I know you don't trust us. I know we've got some problems, but you can trust us, Saudi Arabia. In fact, I'll tell you what, if you sell us more of your oil and stuff, we'll come in and help you with infrastructure. We'll help you with a whole bunch of stuff that you don't already have. And you know what? The United States is not always your friend. We can be there for you. I know you don't trust us, but it's okay. Listen, we'll cut you a deal. We'll give you smart technology. We'll do the same thing we did over at our 7-Eleven Iran. And let's face it, there's a lot of instability in the world. You might want to come and work with us. It could be a better move for you. So you see, China also knows that Taiwan is the linchpin of this entire thing. Taiwan Strait, the Straits of Taiwan, control West Pacific trade routes. All Asian communities depend upon this. So if there's problems there near Taiwan, if China gets in there and causes problems, well, then we've got some big problems with all of our allies in the East Asian community. So at this point, now we have a big problem because it's really about the United States and China. When you hear people going off on, no blood for oil or a death to America, you got to realize it's a much bigger structural problem than just simply, Trump's a warlord or Trump and Vance or some other garbage. This gets down to China and the United States in a battle for world currency and control of the world. They want to be number one. And they also know that Taiwan is the main focus because they know we can't focus on Iran going in there, having all of our ships constantly going back and forth and being bombed while stuff's happening over near Taiwan. If China can keep us focused on something else, like that 7-Eleven in Iran, it's able to move in and do some other stuff near Taiwan. So the Middle East, in constant chaos, drains the U.S. of military and alliance comfort. If Taiwan crisis comes and the U.S. needs the Middle East friends for sanctions, like financial, exclusionary stuff, technical denials, and things like that to try to squeeze China, this is where gold comes into play. All right, you ready? Let's turn the AI in for a second. So, hey, by the way, AI, is China buying up a lot of gold, and how much have they bought in the last 2 years? What are you thinking?
China has indeed been increasing its gold reserves over the last 2 years. Officially, China's central bank reported about 44 metric tons purchased in 2024 and around 21 metric tons in early 2025. However, analysts estimate much larger amounts, some suggesting China may have accumulated over 2,800 metric tons in total. In short, while official figures show moderate purchases, the actual scale could be significantly larger.
So is China slowly selling its U.S. Treasury debt and increasing its purchase of gold?
China has been reducing its holdings of U.S. Treasury debt, which dropped to about $683 billion by the end of 2025, marking the lowest level since 2008. At the same time, China has been steadily increasing its gold reserves, officially reporting about 2,308 metric tons by early 2026. This shift reflects China's strategy to diversify away from U.S. dollar risks and increase its non-dollar reserve assets.
China would probably also, like the rest of the world, to shift over to gold rather than using U.S. treasuries, correct?
It's true that diversifying away from U.S. treasuries gives China more financial independence and reduces reliance on the U.S. dollar. Encouraging a global financial system where gold or other assets play a bigger role aligns with that broader strategy. While the world isn't shifting en masse to gold, China's actions like building gold reserves and promoting alternatives to dollar-centric systems show it's interested in that direction, even if it's a long-term vision.
Sure, but it's hard to sanction a country and say we're not going to give you something if they don't care about the thing you're holding back. So if the U.S. says we're going to not have any treasury bills sold to you, we're going to cut this off or that off. If they say, hey, we don't care, we're using gold, doesn't that give great power to the structure of China?
It does shift some power, yes. If a country holds fewer U.S. assets and instead builds reserves in gold or other alternatives, it's less vulnerable to financial pressure tied to dollar-based systems. That doesn't make them immune to all economic or trade consequences, but it gives them more flexibility. Ultimately, though, gold is just one piece. global economic interdependence still means that complete insulation is rare.
If the rest of the world doesn't trust U.S. Currency and has greater trust in gold, doesn't that cause some problems with the United States?
If trust in the U.S. dollar eroded significantly in favor of gold or another asset, it would definitely complicate things for the U.S. The dollar's status as the world's reserve currency gives the U.S. a lot of influence. It makes borrowing cheaper and sanctions more effective. If global systems leaned heavily on gold, the U.S. might face higher borrowing costs, less control over global financial flows, and more constraints on its economic tools. So yes, it would cause challenges, though it's a complex shift that would take a long time to fully play out.
I understand that if the United States has to pay more in interest rates, what does that do to the United States' ability to grow by having to pay higher interest rates? It does affect its gross domestic product, correct?
Yes, exactly. If the U.S. has to pay higher interest rates on its debt, a larger share of government spending goes toward interest payments rather than investments in infrastructure, education, or innovation. That can slow down growth over time. Higher interest rates can also lead to more expensive borrowing for businesses and consumers, potentially reducing investment and spending. Over the long haul, that can dampen GDP growth and fiscal flexibility. It's a balancing act for sure.
So if I were China and I want to take over the world, that would be a great way to reduce U.S. economy and growth.
Well, from a strategic perspective, economic leverage is definitely a tool nations consider, but taking over the world is a tall order. In reality, economies are so interconnected that even a big player like China also needs a stable global system. If the U.S. economy falters badly, global growth could suffer, and that would ripple back to China too. In other words, competition exists, but mutual stability is in everyone's best interest.
Yes, but if you could create distrust with the U.S. Treasury bill and increase trust in gold, where everyone believes that gold has a value that will stay the same and not be manipulated, you would have advantage over the United States.
In theory, fostering distrust in a rival's financial instruments could offer an advantage if you could fully shift global confidence elsewhere. But trust is built on stability, liquidity, and economic fundamentals, not just belief. The U.S. financial system, for all its flaws, is deeply integrated into global trade, investments, and institutions.
Yeah.
Gold can't easily replace that role on its own. So while shifting preferences could cause disruptions, maintaining real global trust is a lot more complex than just flipping a switch toward gold.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. There you go. Gongaroo to you. That's exactly what it is. China blows up the 7-Eleven. China, at the exact same time, is quietly buying a whole bunch of gold, not telling you exactly how much they're buying. They're slowly selling U.S. debt because they don't want to shock the market because they got money tied up in it. And what they're going to eventually do, like they've gone to Saudi Arabia, like they've gone to other places, said, listen, let's just go with gold. Everybody believes in gold. All we got to do is get all international banks to recognize it as something that can be traded, and that starts the switch. All right? It's a little more complicated than Trump's orange man bad. Oh, my God. Get out the hard charges for me. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
Yes, sir. The Emerald Queen Casino has our update. Let's start in South Everett, eastbound 128th Street, right at the I-5 overpass. We have a disabled vehicle blocking your left lane. Up in Everett, North 5, slows from Lowell Road to Highway 2. Nothing heavy here. Heading into Seattle, well, South 5, you're heavy from the Ship Canal Bridge into downtown. Linwood to Seattle, a 15-minute trip. It's North 5 that is heavy from the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Catch a little break, and then it jams up again near Mercer across the Ship Canal Bridge. Nothing new here. This is turning into our new normal afternoon backup. 25 minutes to get through downtown. Seattle to Federal Way will take you a half hour. Bellevue to Renton's at 25 minutes. You're bumper to bumper from Southeast 8th in Bellevue through Factoria, and then from there it's scattered, slowing past the VMAC. Southbound 169, we're packed along the Maple Valley Golf Course, about a 2-mile backup. And Tacoma to Olympia right now looking great, taking just 35 minutes. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190, April 25th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in one day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Jackson Hewitt handles your taxes and your stress. Inhale on no surprise price of $149 or less. Exhale, paying more for complicated taxes. You won't. Inhale, new tax law knowledge. Exhale, missing out on your biggest refund? Certainly not. Don't miss paying $149 or less. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
John Curley here. Did you know that a new Lennox heat pump is a smart choice for total home comfort? That's right. One heat pump does the work of a furnace and air conditioner. And if your system's over 12 years old, it's on borrowed time. It could be costing you up to 20% more than today's ultra-efficient models. Get Lennox heating and cooling for the price of AC. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The U.S. military now says 6 American service members have been killed in the war with Iran. President Trump calling the conflict the last best chance to confront Iran's missile and nuclear programs. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports the president is not ruling out boots on the ground.
He said it's a possibility. He said he doesn't foresee needing boots on the ground, but that he is certainly willing to keep that door open.
And the president says the fight could last 4 to 5 weeks, but warns it could take longer. The U.S. is fighting Iran in a joint operation with Israel. CBS's Matt Gutman is in Tel Aviv with more.
I don't think in recent history we have seen the Middle East in so much turmoil or so many nations involved in a single conflict, right? We have not only the pugilists of Israel and the U.S. against Iran, you have Iran lashing out against basically all of its neighbors, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon is involved. Jordan is involved.
And the conflict is shaking energy markets as Iran retaliates against those oil-producing nations. Oil analyst Tom Closa.
I don't think gasoline is going to be the problem, though. I think the problem is going to be diesel. And if you remember in 2022, diesel really fueled inflation across the spectrum in North America. And I think that's worrisome at the moment.
CBS's Kelly O'Grady reports Iran now threatening to shut down the crucial Strait of Hormuz.
It is that narrow choke point where 20% of the world's oil flows through. So if, like now, you are seeing ships get hit, less traffic through that narrow choke point, you are going to see supply decrease.
At last check, the price of a barrel of oil has now flattened. It is actually down about 0.5%. Washington's U.S. senators are pushing new legislation to require the Trump administration to refund billions of dollars in tariffs. Senators Maria Cantwell and Patty Murray say the bill would force Customs and Border Protection to return the money with interest within 180 days. The measure comes after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled last month that tariffs collected under an emergency powers law were illegal. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 3:32. We check in with Nate Connors.
And this one's brought to us by Washington State Lottery. Up in South Everett, we just cleared that stall eastbound 128 at the I-5 overpass. Still looking at some residual backups in the area. Getting to Everett from Seattle and Bellevue, plan on 40 minutes. Not too bad. South 5 heading into Seattle, looking good until you get to the Ship Canal Bridge. Then it jams up into downtown. Still just a 15-20 minute trip max from Linwood to Seattle. North 5 is heavy at the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Catch a little breather and then jams up again at Mercer across the Ship Canal Bridge. 25 minutes gets you through downtown. Seattle to Fedway will take you a half hour with our usual backup starting at Interurban Avenue. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. It's solid from mid-Bellevue through Factoria, and then from there, it slowly thins out as you make your way into Renton. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 35 minutes. The north end looks good. We're heavy south of State Route 18 into Puyallup. Play the $15 St. Patty's Day raffle ticket from Washington's Lottery with a $1 million grand prize. Only 250,000 tickets available. Get yours before they're gone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Sunshine and mild conditions today, showers and cooler weather tomorrow. Right now, 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance when it comes to heating and cooling. And you're probably wondering, what about electric? I got electric problems. Don't worry, they got that for you too. Home Comfort Alliance heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. They call that the Big Four, Aaron.
Ooh,
love that.
Yes.
Home Comfort Alliance.
I got an issue with my furnace. They can probably help me
Well,
with
your
that.
furnace, you should really move to a heat pump. You know
what?
I don't know how many times I told you this, but you and I go on around and around on the heat pump.
I have a heat pump too.
You now just show
wow.
off.
That.
Heat pump and furnace. You're
Yeah,
the
like
old
that.
belt and suspenders kind of guy. There's an expression nobody uses anymore.
What is that?
What?
What's that?
Belt and suspenders?
I know what it is.
I know, because you're a newsman.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just reading this thing. The paddles out and give me stuff. Trump didn't do a good job of getting the rest of America on board for this Iran attack. Like only 9% support it, or what is it, 40% support or something like that. The majority of Americans don't want it.
You disagree?
Do I disagree? I would, first of all, I'd hand a world map and I said, okay, you have a half an hour to find Iran on the map. Now, if you can't find it, you're not allowed to give us your opinion about whether or not we should have gone to a war, that we should be bombing Iran. I'll tell you, we'll give you an hour to find it, and we'll give you 3 guesses. If you can't guess it within an hour with 3 guesses, then your opinion doesn't matter. And we're gonna hit you with this cattle prod.
May I ask you some follow-up questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so and you've said this many times. What about?
Is it about Home Comfort Alliance, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm all
that
in.
I have said.
I'm all in on that one.
All right.
What about Congress? Shouldn't he have convinced Congress at least?
Okay, so you're going to go to Congress and you're going to get them. So it's we're going to declare war.
Right.
So how many times has the United States ever gone to Congress to get the declaration of war? And people are like, I think the last time it's been debated where they've actually gone to Congress was
Iraq.
Was it Iraq? Did we get? I think we got approval. For that one in '91? I think we might have.
I remember testimony in 2002.
But how many times has the President of the United States, named the president, gone there and bombed someplace? Gone to Yemen, right? Gaddafi's.
Sure.
We got to go get this guy or that guy. You go to Congress. What is Congress going to do? You're going to have to go in there. Now, big group of people hate him. And they know because they can't get a job in the private sector because nobody would hire them or give them the respect that they get when they're in the House of Representatives. So you think that they're not going to go, well, geez, let's see, who's going to give me money so I can run again? And that's right. It's this group and that group and this group and this lobbyist and that lobbyist. So I'm going to vote yes or vote no, depending on who's going to let me keep my job, because I could never get a job in the private sector that would pay me $185,000 a year and give me a staff and make me feel important. So I'd actually end up losing my job and have to go out into the real world where I have got nothing on my resume that shows that I've got any discernible skills other than being a prostitute for lobbyists and activists. But if you have that on your resume, it's hard to get a job unless you just want to lay on your back and think of the money you're getting somewhere else.
Okay, so no,
going to Congress to declare war. Just how many times have we done it?
I don't know, but that's the way the system's structured. Right?
I know
that's
it is.
It's supposed to work,
right.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So let's say, okay, this is an emergency. We don't need to go to Congress.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
So what is the emergency that Iran was a week away from getting a nuclear weapon? I mean, that's what they're saying, right? I mean, I understand what
it's all crap, Joe. You're going to try to get me to admit the fact that the Trump is saying it's an emergency and
no.
2 weeks away.
I'm not trying to get you to admit anything.
I admit it.
Okay. So what the monologue you gave about what sounds like a better reason for this conflict, which is that it's with China, not with Iran, which is China's 7-Eleven, right?
Yes.
So why not just say that? Why not just say that this is much more important? This makes sense. It's you can articulate it. It doesn't fall into all this weird kind of cover story BS.
Because it's much easier I mean, even it took me like 15 minutes, and I had to use AI, and even AI was like boop, 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 to say to the American people, look, follow the money. That's rule number 1. We are in a battle to maintain our supremacy over the world, and our greatest competitor is China. And what China wants to do is it wants to eventually be able to not have our treasury bills, our debt that we sell to the rest of the world, that we finance all of our spending with. They want to have gold become the currency. And in order to do that, they have to move it up from the 3 levels that it takes for the banks to eventually move it to its traded as currency in the Basel III position. You got to explain how the Basel III, and then you got what bank will approve it, and then how can it be recognized other than a holding for an asset? Forget about it. You just simply say, hey, if we don't bomb Iran within the next 2 weeks, they're going to have a nuclear weapon and blah, blah, blah.
So this is easier.
Because the majority of Americans can't find it on the map.
Okay, but why now?
Congress has formally declared war 11 times during 5 separate conflicts in the latest declaration since 1942. There you go.
Okay, but why?
Why now?
Why now?
because we can't have Iran continue to be able, we can't have China to continue to have Iran cause problems through the different straits, right? Throughout the Red Sea, especially since China wants to go into Taiwan. And in order to go into Taiwan and start to affect all of the movement through Taiwan with oil, we can't, they're going to start doing that again. So they're starting to move into that direction. So we just want to close down the 7-Eleven, blow it up, stop it, and then we don't have to spend a lot of our time and money having Iran fire off missiles at us through the Red Sea, which also adds to the cost. And we want to control the cost of oil as best we can, especially heading into an election period. Because what they would do is they would go into the Red Sea, blow up a whole bunch of oil, or blow up these tankers, or cause the insurance of the tankers to go up, which causes the cost of it to go up. And then you're looking at gigantic economic, bombs going off, not literal bombs, but economic bombs that explode and cause inflation because the cost of oil goes too high. They want to try to control that stuff, especially heading into the election.
So we have control of that right now?
Well, if we stop China from going in there and paying Iran's folks to go in there and cause problems in the Red Sea and the Strait of Hormuz, where that's unbelievably complicated to bring those tankers through. We don't want them to have to divert our attention over to Iran. So let's just wipe it off, get it out of there, and move on to other things.
Okay, so then this should be like an open and shut case, right? The 4 to 5 weeks or whatever, and we'll be out of there, and everything will be.
Well, then the problem because who takes over? Then you got 90 million people going. Okay, thanks, you got rid of the Ayatollah Khomeini, but now who do we have come in? Now we got to get somebody to come in there that we can get Saudi Arabia to like. Omar, we can get, who else? We need Saudi Arabia. We need the Arab Emirate to be also okay with them. Qatar to be okay, whoever goes in, Jordan. All of them, we need all those guys to be okay with the direction that Iran is going to go.
Right, which sounds to me like it's going to be very complicated, very expensive, and take a very long time.
Right, because we also need Iran to agree to, when all those guys say, hey, we're going to raise the cost of oil or bring down the cost of oil, we need to make sure Iran's all on board on that. And not just they're holding out. If we put a puppet guy in there we say, hey, pump more, and screw OPEC on this kind of thing, they're not going to be so happy with them. So then there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be done. But the problem is, again, sell that to the American people. When they can't find Iran on a map.
Yeah, but you could have sold the American people on that with a little bit more if it just hadn't happened so curiously timed.
After getting Venezuela out of there. So the deal would be Venezuela comes over the United States, get the oil in there, right? We need that because we need that because if we have problems with other places, we can get Venezuela. Then also we want to say, hey, we want to take care of Cuba, so we're going to blow Cuba out of there. We're going to control Cuba, Venezuela. We get Iran on our side as well. But it's follow the money. Who's our biggest competitor?
Right.
China and the United States are in a death battle for who's number one, because who's ever number one controls a whole bunch of stuff, the cost of stuff. They are basically the factory to America. But they don't like to be beholden to America. So how do you do that? You break the fact that they use U.S. dollars to trade everything. If you can get everything off of U.S. dollars and get it into something that China could have more of, they have more power. But people have tuned out already. No one's going to go to Home Comfort Alliance for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
I'm an idiot, and I understand.
Hold on, I got to shock myself. Clear! There we go. I'm feeling better. Thank you.
That was well hit. More on this.
No, God,
yes. No. Oh, yes. You're not getting away that easy. I get it. That makes sense. And I think other people would get that, too. But something's fishy about all this, too.
Oh, yeah, it all goes back to oh, my God, it's back to Epstein? Oh, it's because of Epstein we're diverting all the attention over by blowing up Iran for Epstein?
What became second page news?
It's clear. Get ready. What?
What became second page news all of a sudden?
Hit it in there and work the buttons. Clear. I got to hit my head.
When you called me that Saturday and we talked on the phone for about an hour.
We have to go to Nate.
And here I am. Overall, it's a Monday light commute out there. South 5 gets heavy in Seattle at the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, 20 minutes tops. North 5 is heavy approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown near Yesler, and that's where half of this traffic peels off to the express lanes. And then another backup from Mercer across the Ship Canal Bridge, 25 minutes through downtown Seattle. Our lake bridges look great. Now, due to Revive I-5, westbound 520, you're going to jam up at Montlake. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes, still thick from Southeast 8 through Victoria, and then from there it thins out down past the VMAC in Renton. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 40 minutes, heaviest south of State Route 18. North 405, we're slow from South Center through the Renton S-curves, close to freeway speeds through this, though. And at Federal Way, westbound 18, right at I-5, we've got a disabled vehicle blocking the left lane at the on-ramp to South 5. You're backed up to Weyerhaeuser Way. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
By the way, that was not planned to have the gold commercial in the middle. It's fine. You didn't put that into you, did you? Andrew, that wasn't your plan. Yeah, my friend Fred writes, dead on about the payoffs yet. Yeah, so last time, 11 times we've gotten Congress to approve a war. Last time was 1942. So anyway, there. Joe said during the commercial break, we need a palate cleanser. This, and I should say this with no hesitation, that, I can see Andrew, I can see Nate, I can see Joe. When Aaron's in here, there's Joe over there. Aaron, this is the little, and there's everybody that's working here at KIRO. We don't see anybody else, just this microphone and anybody that's on the other side of that camera. So yesterday I stopped in North Bend to get some gas. And I run into a woman named Victoria who goes by Vicky when she writes the show. As I head over to get a cup of coffee, I hear a voice saying, "Excuse me, I hate to bother you, excuse me." And I turned around and she said, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's you." And I said, "I guess so." And she said, "I'm Victoria. I wrote one time, I text saying, Charlie saved Dad's marriage." When, that story about being there at the concert, right? I said, "Oh, I remember that." I said, "We read that out loud." She goes, "Yes, I go by Victoria or Vicky. I work at Popeyes. And I just want to say that it's such an honor to meet you." And I was like, "Wow, It's such an honor to meet you, Vicky." She goes, "Now, once Sam Darnold came in and ordered something, and I needed his last name for the order, and he said Darnold. And I was like, oh, my gosh, is that going to be Sam Darnold? So this is like right up there." So I don't know about that. Wow. But she goes, "No, it's so nice because I have such a connection to you." And that's every once in a while or all the time, you need to be reminded of the fact that this is an amazing honor to be able to have this microphone and unfortunately also that camera to be in somebody's life. They choose to spend their time with you. Yes. Right? And so Victoria, thank you. It was great seeing you yesterday at the gas station there in North Bend. So,
and anybody that's considering it should know that you will never be bothered. Like, it's just absolutely not in your nature to...
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah. I know people that are in this business.
Yes.
And they act like their ass don't stink.
Right.
And they don't want to talk to you. Yeah. They don't want to look at you. They don't want anything to do with you.
I have a theory about that,
and I don't understand that, because it's like, if you didn't like people, you should not... Bad business to get in.
But there are a lot of people that work in this industry that are extremely inauthentic. Meaning what they say on the show or what their takes are or how they present themselves is not who they are really.
Right.
And I spent 22 years doing this, and I've known a lot of those people. And you are as far from that. Like, you are authentically you, which is one of the things I love about you.
Well, thank you, Joe.
Even though we don't always agree, You are absolutely your 100% authentic self on the air, off the air, on the streets, anywhere you go, you are you.
So you're never going to bother.
No.
Even if the person hates me and stuff, I'd rather talk to the person.
Yes. Even the person that screams F you to you at the...
I would rather talk to that person.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you could dislike me, but I'm sure there's something that we could find that we could agree on.
That's right.
But I'm always shocked. I hate to bother you. You're bothering me.
Yeah.
The fact that there's somebody out there listening is amazing. I should be thanking you.
Speaking of which, we have to bump back up our hater dinner program that we've talked about.
We have to back it up in what way?
We need to.
Has management agreed to it? Were they concerned about me being killed?
I don't think they're going to. So I think we just have to do it and ask for forgiveness.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, we're gonna do that.
Okay, good.
Because they're like, well, we've never had that before. Yeah, the idea is if you vehemently disagree, if you want somebody just hates me ad hom and stuff.
Just somebody that doesn't like you for one reason.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I want to take you out to dinner. That means 2 slices of pizza and 2 beers.
That's right. And hopefully a quick conversation in here before.
Yeah, well, you have to come in here.
Yeah.
We don't have to. You get to come in here.
Yeah.
Sit down on the microphone. We get to, hash it out a little bit, and then hopefully you head over. But if you just hate me even more at the end, and the thought of eating pizza with me is way too much, then we just part company.
Yeah, just go home.
Well, at least we tried. All right, we'll try that. 1-888-973-5476. All right, here's Nitwit Traffic.
Thanks, John. The Seattle RV Show has our update on days like this. We tend to see more motorcycles on the road. Keep an eye out for them. In South Center, we've got a big old crash. South 5 and South 178th. It's a rollover blocking 2 left lanes. A number of cars involved here, and this includes the HOV lane blocked. South 5 into Seattle, fairly minor backup starting at the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, less than 20 minutes. North 5, we've got scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's a half hour from bridge to bridge. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. It's heavy at Southeast 8th through Factoria, and then from there it thins out, but it's still crowded all the way down to the Renton Landing now. North 405 slows from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Don't miss the Seattle RV Show, March 12th through the 15th at Lumen Field Event Center. Shop over 400 new models for every budget and lifestyle. Get tickets at seattlervshow.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Clogged gutters? Not anymore. K-Guard by Guardian keeps leaves out, water flowing, and your home protected year-round. No maintenance, no rust, just lasting peace of mind. Guardian Roofing, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit guardianroofing.com.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Staples has hot deals on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. As the U.S. and Israel keep striking Iran and Iran launches retaliatory attacks, the U.S. State Department is urging Americans to leave over a dozen countries now, including Egypt, Kuwait, Lebanon, Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza. CBS's Cammie McCormick with more from Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Rubio said the U.S. objective is to wipe out Iran's ballistic missile program.
We will do this as long as it takes to achieve those objectives, and we will achieve those objectives. The world will be a safer place when we're done.
He also said the administration has prepared for the impact on energy prices.
Think about it. This terroristic regime, led by radical clerics, has the ability, potentially, to shut off 20% of global energy. That's the kind of leverage they have because of their Navy. We're going to destroy their Navy. But there is a plan in place. We anticipated this could be an issue.
He said the steps will be rolled out in the coming hours.
U.S. Central Command says 6 U.S. service members have been killed in action, and President Trump says that the campaign could last 4 to 5 weeks, with the capability to go far longer than that. Iran, in a strike on Israel, hit a synagogue just outside of Jerusalem, killing at least 9 people. CBS's Matt Gutman stopped by the scene.
What I'm being told from Israeli military sources is they are being very successful. Mobile missile launchers and the ones that are buried wherever they are. They've taken out at least half of them over the past year or so, and they believe that 70 to 80% of them could be obliterated by the end of this week.
Videos of the Clinton Epstein testimony from last week have been released. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
Bill and Hillary Clinton were questioned behind closed doors. The former Secretary of State testified she had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
Let me be as clear as I can. I do not.
And the former president backed her up.
She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing.
He also denied any awareness of Epstein's criminal activities, saying under oath, I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
An investigation is underway in Austin, Texas, after a mass shooting at a bar early yesterday left 2 people dead and 14 wounded. CBS's Jason Allen says the suspect was killed by police.
In the home, they found an Iranian flag, pictures of Iranian leaders. They put that together with what the suspect was wearing during the shooting, a sweatshirt that said property of Allah, a Quran in his vehicle. And that's why they are looking at the potential for terror in this attack related to the war in Iran that is happening now.
However, both the FBI and Austin police, in an update this afternoon, say it's too early to determine a motive. The U.S. says it's imposing sanctions on Rwanda's military, accusing it of violating a U.S. brokered peace deal.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Coming up, Washington's congressional delegation reacts to the war in Iran. That's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, the Washington State Lottery has our update. In South Center, we've got a rollover crash. South 5 at South 178th. It's blocking 2 left lanes, including the HOV. And you're backed up bumper to bumper into the Duwamish curve. So Seattle to Federal Way right now is at 40 minutes, which isn't bad, but obviously this is going to start to spike. South 5 heading into Seattle from the north end. Just a minor backup from the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, less than 20 minutes. North 5, you got scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal, and it's about a half hour from bridge to bridge. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. It's heavy from mid-Bellevue through Factoria, and then from there, things thin out, but it's still crowded all the way down into Renton. North 405 is slow from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, just a 40-minute drive. Tacoma to Olympia is just 40 minutes, and Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett, both doing all right, looking at 45-minute commutes. Play the $15 St. Patty's Day raffle ticket from Washington's Lottery with a $1 million grand prize and only 250,000 tickets available. Get yours before they're gone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee is calling the war in Iran, in his words, a big mistake. Washington Representative Adam Smith says he would have preferred diplomacy. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Smith joins Democratic lawmakers from our state who are also critical of the airstrike.
We're in a full-scale Middle East war. We don't know exactly what it is that success would look like. What are we trying to accomplish? And how long is it going to last?
Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner calls the attack important and necessary. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The driver suspected of a hit-and-run crash that killed an elderly woman in Bellevue has now been booked into the King County Jail. Crash happened in a parking lot along Bell Red Road on Saturday. Jefferson County deputies say they found the car and the driver in Port Townsend on Sunday. Bellevue police say he faces homicide and felony hit-and-run charges. Pierce County Prosecutor's Office is taking a fresh look at a fatal officer-involved shooting from 2013. That's when 30-year-old Leonard Thomas was shot and killed by a SWAT team. We get more from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
A new report by the Washington Office of Independent Investigations suggests evidence brought up during a 2017 federal wrongful death trial could justify charging former Lakewood Police Chief Mike Zorro with manslaughter. That, according to the Seattle Times. Zorro led the SWAT team the day Thomas was killed. Adam Faber is with the Pierce County Prosecutor's Office.
When we receive the complete file, we will review it for a charging decision.
No word on how long a charging decision will take. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Right now, Seattle police are looking for a suspect who they say shot a legally blind man in the Chinatown International District just after 11 this morning. SPD Detective Eric Munoz.
As far as we can tell, this was a completely random attack that targeted a legally blind man.
Happened near 5th Avenue South and South Weller Street. The victim was hit twice in the legs. He was taken to Harborview at last check in stable condition. Now to the weather. We are looking at sunshine today. Mild conditions this afternoon. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, cooler weather, and rain in the afternoon. Right now, 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Hey, John and team. Hey, this is one of your loyal friends out here.
Hi, this is Dennis. Betting on sports is called a financial derivative. Learn some economics.
Thank you, Dennis. Dennis rolling in. Oh, there we go. Who was the first guy?
That was the one we played at 3.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought it was Dennis trying to throw us off. All right. Short version for him. Here comes Todd Myers, Washington Policy Center.
Here comes Todd
Myers. I got to warn you, Myers. I am all fired up. Twice I've had to bring my heart rate back down with the paddle. So Look at you. You are just raring to go. You and I couldn't be more emotionally distant right now.
I was going to say you're fired up today.
Well, yeah, because a number of things, but I read, I'm seeing how, let's do millionaires first. That's bad enough. But then also the CCA. You know, the CCA really bothers me. And the great work that you did with the Department of Ecology when you found out that, they took in like $4 billion, but they only spent the amount of CO2 they've reduced. We'll get to that in a bit. So get ready to just unleash on those people. But first, you wrote me this morning, and I happened to also see it at the exact same time you wrote. And I wrote you back immediately. You text me. I had just read that piece in the Wall Street Journal from a number of tech folks to the good people there in Olympia, giving them fair warning of what is about to happen to them. Then you also sent the letter itself. You were able to get the letter that was sent. What did you find in that letter that was not covered in the Wall Street Journal? And can you bring everybody up to speed on everything I just set up?
Sure. So the legislature is in its last week and a half, and there's a number of big things that they're working on. Probably the biggest is the potential creation of a state income tax. Now, what they say is they call it a millionaire's tax because right now the threshold to pay is above $1 million. But of course, we know income taxes never stay on high earners. They are always expanded to everybody. And in fact, we know that that's the plan because we have emails from legislators saying that that's their plan. So, however, Washington State, millionaire's tax, the income tax, on top of all the other tax policy that we have, would be very bad for innovation. The reason that Microsoft and Amazon did so well is that 30 years ago, Washington had one of the best business tax climates in the country. And now we have one of the worst, and adding an income tax would only make that bad. So a number of people in the AI and tech sector wrote a letter talking about how difficult it would be to bring AI talent to Washington State to take part of the next wave of tech innovation and the economic growth. The thing that they argued is that right now, California, they have a bad tax climate, but what they have is something that we don't have, which is an incredible ecosystem of AI talent. We want to take some of that AI talent from them, and the way that we can do it, one of the ways that we can do it, is by having a better tax climate. But if our tax climate is just as bad or worse as theirs, that AI talent is not going to come here. It's going to go to Texas. It's going to go to other places. So that's what they pointed out is that we don't have the ecosystem. We can have a better tax environment, but if we increase, if we create an income tax, we shoot ourselves in the foot there too.
And have you heard from anybody? I'm sure anybody in Olympia read the letter and said, geez, I've got this warning and we should probably cut back on this thing. Besides, it's not the millionaire's tax. You could just call it tax on successful people or tax on people that were in the right place at the right time. But it's not just a millionaire's thing because it's a household income tax. It's a tax coming for the rest of us.
That's correct, and they will change the limits in the future. It's funny because when the hearing occurred, there were a couple of Microsoft millionaires who testified and said, "Look, I'm a Microsoft millionaire. I think we should have this. This is a good policy." And it's like, well, yeah, because you made your money 20 and 30 years ago when Washington's business climate was good, when our tax system was good. That's when you made your money. That's when you took advantage of the opportunity. You're happy to pay the tax now because you've made your money. It's the people who want to come behind you, the people who want to be successful, want to innovate. Those are the people you're sacrificing. And it really bothers me when people do that because it is selfishness masquerading as righteousness. They have their money, right? They're fat and happy. It's not going to make them poor. What they're trying to do is they're trying to, stick it to the people who want to innovate now, who haven't made it. And I think just that's really irresponsible. Right, because in a way, you could, when you go to the government and you say, I want you to kneecap my competition. I'm already in. I don't have to worry about it. Everything's already in place. I've got my I know exactly what I can make on all this sort of stuff. But if you could just go in there and just make it a little harder for somebody else trying to come along and eat some of my profit by innovating, that would just secure our position in the market.
Plus, at the same time, they're able to burnish the reputation. Oh, I got a chance to go down there and say, go ahead and tax me. They're throwing themselves on the sword, right? But they've already doled the sword, or it's their own sword. Like, for instance, the case of who's the guy from H.D. Fowler, right, that went down there. And right. So here's a guy, I think he's either fourth or fifth generation. So H.D. Fowler is a family-run business. We've been in business like 1850 or whatever it was. I read about him on the website. We're family-run. We provide all of this stuff to all these people. We're all about irrigation, and we're all about caring for the community. So this guy goes down there, and he testifies, H.D. Fowler chairman. Now, he then says, tax us. It's okay. Go ahead. Tax us. Then he steps down after testifying in favor of it. Why did he step down, Todd?
Well, he stepped down because his companies that he works with, his clients, said, hey, you may be able to pay it, but, it's going to hit us pretty hard because the way that this tax is calculated, it hits, family-owned businesses really hard because it taxes their income, the total income of the business, or can. And so it makes it really difficult on them. So a number of his clients who said, okay, you can pay it, but you're sticking it to me. And so I don't want to work with you anymore. So they started canceling contracts.
Aha.
And they said, look, if money doesn't apply to you, if money is not a concern to you, that's what I'm hearing, then you won't mind if we take our business elsewhere. And he very rapidly realized that, in fact, he did care about money. And sort of recanted and said, well, I didn't think about the impact that it would have on the people we work with.
So it says the H.D. Fowler Company has a storied history dating back since the 1900s, when established by visionary Howard D. Fowler, affectionately known as H.D. So then it went on to his son, Doyle. And then Doyle had it, Hold had it, another nickname for the guy, goes all the way. And then finally, Hold's son, Jed Fowler, at the helm as president. So from 1911, goes all the way to 1930s, goes through the whole thing on the website. Then it looks like it was like a third generation guy ends up taking over. So often by the third generation, the money's already gone because the person doesn't realize how hard their great-grandfather worked to earn it in the first place. Normally the money's already out the door, down the toilet. But it was still going when this guy stepped in and decided, no, go ahead and tax us who we want. So good for them. So he steps down as president. Hopefully maybe will have more time on his hands to take a college course on economics.
Yeah. Well, again, I think for folks who have made their money, and God bless them, right? I mean, that's the thing is that we want innovators. We want people who create the next great products that people want that make all of our lives better. And so they made their money. But what frustrates me again is them saying, look how righteous I am that I'm willing to give away my money. But it's not just their money that they're giving away. They're giving away lots of other people's money. Anybody who's wealthy, feel free. There's actually a form at the Washington State webpage. You can go to Washington State. There's a form where you can do a gift to Washington State. If you want to pay more taxes, if you want to pay more, go ahead, give a gift to Washington State. These folks never do. What they say is, well, everybody has to pay it. Well, you go first. Show us how it's done, but they never seem to go first.
Hey, I want to ask you, I think you were the one that directed me to a Freedom of Information request that got through the Washington Policy Foundation, and this is 2018. And yeah, Senator Peterson sent a letter to some guy named Dick, his last name, something in there, saying, hey, listen, just to let you know, we want to get this capital gains thing through. If we get the Washington State Supreme Court to okay this, it'll open the door for us to be able to put in an income tax. So that's the plan on this thing. So that was 2018. The letter was written. So we had sort of seen this before. It was the Trojan horse was going to be the capital gains. So that's through. We had Judge David Larson on Friday, and he wasn't allowed to speak specifically to the case going before the Supreme Court, but explain some of the nuance that the court is going to have to drive this giant unconstitutional wedge through. What would be the words that we'll look at in order to give them the right to tax us?
Right. So the state constitution says that you can actually have an income tax, but it has to be flat and it has to be 1%. And it protects property. And we have a very broad definition of property that the voters of the state of Washington put into the state constitution. So the argument for an income tax would be that that income is not property.
Right.
Because the language is very clear in the Constitution that property cannot be taxed above a certain level, and it has to be flat. So the argument somehow has to be that your salary is not your property. So the Supreme Court would have to find a way to, figure that out, which seems very strange to me.
There's a cut from when Brandy Cruz went down there, talked to Peterson, and Peterson did this long roundabout thing trying to explain why income was not property, but when you transfer it, then it is not. It can't be taxed, but it can. And then he tried to use some analogy about like when an immigrant comes into this country, but then moves out of it. Do you find it?
Do legislators have a responsibility to propose bills that are constitutional, or is it your job to push that envelope?
So happily, the former Attorney General is not a member of the Supreme Court, and ultimately it's 9 people on the Supreme Court who are going to make the decision about whether it's constitutional or not. Look, there was a decision in 1933 by 5-4 majority at a time when the income tax, the idea of income tax in our country was only at the age of majority, 18 years since the federal income tax had started, when there was a lot of unsettledness about the nature of an income tax. In the law up to that time, there was an idea that there were essentially 2 kinds of taxes: property taxes, taxes on having something, owning it, and excise taxes, taxes on doing something, right?
Do people not own their income, though?
No, I think it is. No, they own the property once it has become income. This is not, if you think about it, I've been trying to think of good analogies to this.
Get ready.
We sometimes have people who come into the United States, right? But they're not considered to have been in the United States because of the legal mechanism by which they got here, right? So there's a question about whether you're lawfully present. It's just an immigration idea. This maybe makes sense only to lawyers.
What the hell? I mean, that's somebody, there's your senator trying to explain how income is not property and has something to do with somebody coming into the country that's...
Well, he said it only makes sense to lawyers. I don't think it makes sense to lawyers. The former Attorney General Rob McKenna is a lawyer and one of the top lawyers, and it doesn't make sense to him either. So, yeah, I mean, the notion that property, that your income is not your property, is sort of silly. And he mentions 1933, but he forgets to mention the numerous other Supreme Court cases subsequent that all say the exact same thing. In fact, there was one, and I'm trying to remember the date, it might have been in the 60s, I think it was 1968, that said, stop asking us this question. We have settled this question over and over again. It is a one-page decision. So it's always fun to say, oh, back in 1933, they didn't really know. But then you forget all of the other times that was up.
Has it been, is it 9 times that we've asked the voters, do you want an income tax? Is that what it is? I'm trying to remember.
I get the numbers confused. It's either 10 or 11. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's many times. We have done it again and again and again. And of course, in 2024, voters put an initiative before the legislature signed by hundreds of thousands of people banning an income tax. And that was when Senator Peterson actually voted for it and then said, oh, that was a lie. We didn't actually mean that. So, I mean, every time the voters have had the opportunity on this, they have said no.
But is it phrased to the voters millionaires tax, or is it phrased to the voters income tax?
But if you remember, Bill Gates Sr. offered an income tax as an initiative and said, oh, it's only for high earners. And I can't remember whether they said, I think they might have said millionaires tax, and it lost 2-1. Because people are not dumb. They know that this is the nose under the tent, and that they will expand it. So even when it has been framed like that in the past, people know what is coming.
Yeah, Bill Gates Sr. used to go to this little coffee shop down the street. I used to see him in there. And I remember talking to him about the income tax. And it was fun to engage with him. I was surprised, and I said, I could see why you're okay with it. You've already made your millions, and your son has as well, so you don't seem to have any problem with me. I'd like to make more, and I don't necessarily want to give it away to somebody who's going to waste it. And then
that I think is another aspect of it. Somebody who's going to waste it. Washington State is not, hurting for revenue. Our, budget has increased by more than 50% above the rate of inflation over the last decade. And with the new proposed budget, it will increase another 11% in this biennium. Spending is going up radically. So, what does that yield? Are our test scores getting better? Are schools getting better? No, we know definitively that they are not. Are our roads getting better? We know definitively that they are not. The Washington State Department of Transportation says that they're not. Is life becoming more affordable? Is housing becoming more affordable? And point to me what problems have been solved because we have increased spending massively over the last decade.
Yeah.
And yet they never say, well, we need this money to solve this problem, because they're not solving the problem.
Well, we need money, so we have to go to sponsors. Can you hold on a second? Because I do want to ask you we're doing. We're number 3. I think we've always been number 3. Hawaii, California, and Washington. As we pay more and more at the pump, we'll find out if we're saving the earth at all. Let's check Nate with traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. The Emerald Queen Casino has our update. In South Center, we've got a rollover crash this afternoon at South 5 at South 178. We now have 3 left lanes blocked. That includes the HOV lane, and you're in a bumper-to-bumper backup starting at the Duwamish Curve. That's close to a 4-mile backup. Seattle to Federal Way, we're up to 50 minutes. This adds to a thick backup on South 405 as you head into South Center, where drivers are all stacking up, waiting to get on to southbound I-5. South 5 heading into Seattle, just a minor backup from the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, 20 minutes. North 5, scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's a half-hour commute through downtown. At Mercer, we have a new stall adding to this, blocking your left general purpose lane. Now, once you clear the Ship Canal, it's just minor crowding from Shoreline through Linwood. Seattle to Everett, plan on 40 minutes. Bellevue to Everett just hit 1 hour. It's slow from mid-Bellevue into Bothell, just past Northeast 195th. We have a handful of cars on your right shoulder. And on the water, the Point Defiance Terminal reports a 1-hour wait for drivers. Your Port Townsend Coopville ferry route has a couple cancellations for low tide this evening. The 6:45 out of Port Townsend and the 7:30 departure out of Coopville. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190, April 25th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I want you to think about the most disorganized part of the house, whether it's the garage. Maybe you've got a couple of closets. Maybe you've got the old traditional junk drawer, but maybe it is spread into other places that you're trying to store stuff. And it's just annoying. You can't find anything. But if you have some closets or storage, it just reduces the stress in the house. And I'm telling you from personal experience, because I am not the most organized guy in the world, but my wife, on the other hand, is very organized. And when she said, please, can we get somebody to come in here and give us some organization, get us closets? I said, Nick, go ahead, but don't just hire the first one that pops up on Google. Look around. Try to find somebody local. That would be great. So she finds Closets by Design. Locally owned, 22 years, family-run business. I'm like, get them in here. The nice designer comes in. She sits with Nick from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and they come up with designs we hadn't even thought of before. And I'm talking truly customized. Building a cabinet that matches the woodwork in the laundry room. Imagine that. Plus, complete organization in the garage. 40% off plus an additional 15% off. Big savings for you and free financing or financing 18 months and free installations. Closets by Design. That's Closets by Design. 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense, and that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The death toll is rising in the Middle East, where 6 American service members have now been killed in the war with Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said today the mission there is to wipe out Iran's stockpile of ballistic missiles and their nuclear capabilities.
This operation needed to happen because Iran in about a year or a year and a half would cross the line of immunity, meaning they would have so many short-range missiles, so many drones, that no one could do anything about it because they could hold the whole world hostage.
The initial strikes on Saturday killed the supreme leader of Iran. CBS's Willie James Inman says it's not clear now who will take over leadership in the country.
He told our own Bob Costa over the weekend that he knows who exactly is calling the shots, but he didn't want to tell Bob Costa who that was. But he told CNN's Jake Tapper that we don't know who the leadership is, and we don't know who they'll pick. in large part because the leadership, many of them were killed in a strike.
President Trump did say the military campaign could last 4 to 5 weeks, maybe longer. State Department is urging Americans in certain Middle Eastern countries to leave now. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay reports local fighter jets are playing a key role in the war.
EA-18 Growlers from Naval Air Station Whidbey Island are flying combat missions off the USS Abraham Lincoln. Retired Air Force Lieutenant General Richard Newton, a senior national security contributor for News Nation, calls the electronic attack jets extraordinarily important to the mission.
This is not just a one and done for the Growlers. They will be sustained in their campaign.
He also tells Seattle's Morning News the Growlers proved themselves in a January raid and continue to be essential. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The U.S. women's hockey captain and Seattle Torrance star says she played through an injured knee during her gold medal run in Milan. Hillary Knight tells CBS Morning she tore her MCL but still pushed through.
I'm not walking around the best, and I'm missing a few games for the Seattle Torrent now, but to be able to play through injury was definitely a mental sort of gymnastic challenge for myself and also physical.
The 36-year-old Knight tied the gold medal game against Canada with just over 2 minutes left. She says it was her final Olympics appearance. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:33. We check in with Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. Seattle Sports has our update. We're starting to get busy out there. South 5 in South Center. We're dealing with a rollover crash at South 178. It's got 3 left lanes blocked, including the HOV, and you're sitting in a bumper-to-bumper backup starting near MLK Junior Way. Seattle to Federal Way just went up to a 1-hour drive. South 5 heading into Seattle, still doing pretty good. Just a minor backup from the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. North 5 scattered backups at the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. About 35 minutes now through downtown Seattle. And Mercer, we moved that stall to your left shoulder, but it is sticking out just a touch in that left lane. Once you clear the Ship Canal, just minor crowding from Shoreline through Linwood, so Seattle to Everett plan on another 40 minutes. Bellevue to Everett is at 1 hour. You're slow from mid-Bellevue into Bothell. At 195th, we've got a collision on your right shoulder. Everett, you're looking good this afternoon. North 5, just a little crowded between Lowell Road and Highway 2. South 5 is always wide open. And Bellevue to South Center, a 40-minute commute. You're slow from 520 to Northeast 44th near the VMAC. Extra thick from Southeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway. And then another hefty backup now between the Valley Freeway and I-5 along South Center. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All clear right now, but overnight clouds will develop and then spotty showers in the morning, increasing rain by the afternoon. Right now, 57 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News in the Morning brings you the most urgent headlines, the things you need to know before you head out the door. Just like you need that cup of coffee, they'll help you start your day off on the right foot. Live breaking news, KIRO 7 pinpoint weather, and KIRO 7 real-time traffic to help you avoid those back-to-school backups. Check in with KIRO 7 News in the Morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m. only on KIRO 7 TV.
Thank you, Joe. Well said, well read. I'll do that. I will do that. But first, I'll take my car to Buc-ee's. I mean, if I have my choice, I got to do it at Buc-ee's first for anything fixing the car. They got 16 locations, been around for 50 years. I think their birthday's coming up March. It's still time to shop. Buc-ee's Auto Service Centers. Todd Myers from Washington Policy Center pops back on the screen again. Todd, we were talking the last time it was the Citizens Guide to the Initiative 1098. This was Paul Guppy's piece he wrote in 2010. So that was the income tax that Bill Gates Sr. was in favor of. Basically just letting everybody know we're going to come in there. We need more of your money. And before we went to the break, we did mention the idea of wasting the money. I'm with you. It's like if a team is winning in baseball and they just struggle a couple of times, we'll do baseball talk, but they start winning. I'll go to the game. I'll pay the tickets. I don't mind paying $65 for a beer because it's the whole experience. It's worth it, right? You guys, home runs and just digging them out and really gutting it out in the ninth inning and just playing great baseball. I'll pay for the beer. I'll pay for the experience because I'm getting a quality product in return, right? So I know what my cost is going in. But if I'm going in there and watching and the beer is flat and the players suck and nobody seems to care, like the NBA, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to pay the money to go to that game, right? Because I know what I'm getting in return is not the value. There's no value to it for me. So I won't be participating in it, like at a restaurant or anything else. But in the state of Washington, when you realize the money that they take from us and where the money goes. I saw a piece just the other day, $4 million of our money going sent to a doctor in Spokane to cut off the genitals or provide some sort of gender-affirming care to prisoners. Well, when people hear that, they're not as likely to want to have their money taxed and taken and given to the state of Washington. And the great piece that you did, the Washington Policy Center, that found out when you asked the Department of Ecology to tell us, okay, you took all of our money, how much did you reduce in metric tons? And their research came out that they had reduced 5.5 million metric tons. And you went ahead, because you're such a lovable nerd, and you looked through the thing and you said, no, correction. You didn't reduce, you took all that money, you didn't reduce it by 7 million tons, you took it down to 78,000 tons. So I did the math. That's what about 17,000 cars produce, right? So then you figure, okay, 17,000 cars produce 78,000 metric tons. So they didn't do anything with the money. They took it from us, said that they reduced all this CO2. You looked at it and said, no, you didn't. You're using it on a bunch of projects, but you're not really doing anything with it. So Washington State is like a really, really bad baseball team that just gets crushed every single game. They don't make good trades. They serve really horrible. In fact, they serve hot dogs that'll poison you, or they'll cut your hot dog off for $4 million. But yet we are forced to attend this game and cheer for these people. There's my baseball analogy on this income tax and the rest of it.
Let me just say that analogy makes more sense than the one that Senator Peterson was making about immigration. So,
yeah, it's only lawyers can understand it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is that and with climate change, with these other things, it's particularly frustrating because what you hear all the time is this is a critical issue. Right. People are dying, right? Climate change is going to destroy us. We have to do something. Yeah. This is a critical issue. Yeah. And you have to raise our taxes and spending in order to deal with this critical issue. And then the minute they get the money, they're like, oh, well, we can spend it on all these various fun things instead of actually, solving the problem. So I'll give you one example. There's about $20 million that is dedicated in the budget that is supposed to go to improving air quality. And we may have talked about this, improving air quality in disadvantaged communities. And this is one of the things that the advocates of the Climate Commitment Act talk about all the time. Look, we're going to stop asthma. Asthma is a serious problem. We need to do these projects. So I went and said, okay, what are these projects actually doing? What do they actually spend the money on? And if you look at the projects, it says, this group, this location, community outreach. This group, this location, community outreach. This location, community outreach. There's no actual projects.
Right, community outreach. Yeah, it means just putting up a website that nobody goes to.
Right, or, meeting with people and advocates or something like that. There's the only projects, there was 2 projects that actually could be argued that they reduced, sort of particulate in the air, and that was taking dirt roads and paving them. And that was in a couple of places in Spokane County. But all the others were community outreach. And again, so it's like, well, we need to help these kids who are suffering from asthma. And how dare you not want to spend the money for these poor kids? And then you look at when they actually get the money, how do they spend it? And that, I think, is the fundamental problem is that so often there's the things that they say that they want to spend the money on are things we can agree on, but those often are a smokescreen for something else. And I'm not one of those people who says, oh, if you just get rid of waste and fraud, we can balance the budget. There are definitely some things that you need to do that are, tougher choices. But there is far more waste and fraud in the budget than I think people realize.
So the Community Commitment Act, in order to reduce the Earth's temperature, although I think 9 times more people die from cold than from heat, but that aside, the Community Commitment Act has now become a slush fund. It looks like they're quote unquote borrowing it or taking from it $560-some million they want to take from it and stick it into some other program. So apparently they're going to take the money out. It's so dire. It's such an existential threat to all of us, this climate crap, that they're going to take money out of the CCA and spend it on something else. So now once they've sort of cut a hole in that thing and they start siphoning money out, well then this is a great program because we can't go anywhere. We got to pay it in our taxes when it comes to gas. So now they're able to have more money. What are they planning the money to take the money out? Where are they going to put it, Todd?
Well, there's a couple of places. One, and this was actually in the original bill, is that they could spend money on what is called the Working Families Tax Credit. Now, as we've discussed before, the Working Families Tax Credit is based on the Earned Income Tax Credit. It's actually a really good idea, which is that if you are moving off of social assistance, off of welfare, and trying to get a job, what the Working Families Tax Credit is it rewards you for doing that. Whereas so many welfare programs, they punish you, right? They reduce
drop off the cliff. Yeah.
Exactly. So it rewards you. The other thing is that it reduces the need for a very high minimum wage, because as you don't make, let's say you go and make $10 an hour. The Working Families Tax Credit helps you make above $10 an hour so that you can earn more over time. Problem is that in Washington State, we do the worst of both worlds. We have a bad Working Families Tax Credit, and we have very high minimum wage, which locks out the very people that you want to get experience. So what they're doing is they're taking money from the Climate Commitment Act that is currently being used by the general fund and say, well, now.
We should have paid for more time. We lost them right in the middle. What a cliffhanger. I guess we'll never know.
Well, we were running late anyway.
Okay. Gee whiz. Well, it's not fair to cut him off like that's
We'll bring him back. All right,
well, anyway.
I unplugged him because I want to get the traffic.
All right, go to traffic. Sorry, Nate. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. South 5 is South 178th and South Center. We've got a crash that's been cleared to the left shoulder, so that opens up 3 left lanes for you. You're still backed up bumper to bumper to the Boeing Access Road. It's going to take a while for this to clear out. Seattle to Federal Way, still at 1 hour. Now, North 5 into Seattle. Scattered backups between the West Seattle Bridge and Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 35 minutes from bridge to bridge. At Mercer, look out, we've got a stall mostly on the left shoulder, but it is sticking out just a tad there in the left lane. Let's see, Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 10 minutes. It is slow from, basically we're bumper to bumper now from 520 all the way to Northeast 195th in Bothell, where your right lane is now blocked at the scene of a collision that is sitting on the shoulder. Everett to Marysville, under 10 minutes. You're looking great this afternoon. Little crowding from Lowell Road to Highway 2. And Bellevue to South Centers at 40 minutes. It's slow from 520 to the VMAC, really thick between the Valley Freeway and I-5. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190, April 25th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, I don't know. What do the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are, as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotors.
Free? Really?
Really? Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah. How much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free? Really?
Really. free. It's part of A to Z savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ends March 9th. Restrictions apply.
Say goodbye to clogged gutters and climbing ladders. With K-Guard by Guardian, leaves stay out, water flows freely, and your home stays protected year-round. Enjoy true peace of mind. No maintenance and no rust. Choose from a variety of colors to match your home's look and boost your curb appeal. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect what matters most with Guardian, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit GuardianRoofing.com to learn more.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in one day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
Turned into the Todd Myers Show from Washington Policy Center. There you are. For some mysterious reason, you suddenly dropped off just before you were to wrap it all up. You remember what you were about to say there, Todd?
Well, I was just saying that the earned income tax credit is being taken out of the Climate Commitment Act instead of the general fund. And so now what they do is they basically, transfer funds from the Climate Commitment Act to the general fund so they can use it. And so, as we were discussing before, instead of using money for its intended purpose or the purpose that they claimed, which is to fight climate change, they're now coming up with all sorts of other political projects that they want to use it for. And that's what happens with these things is that, it starts out, justified for one reason, either to reduce asthma or to, fight climate change. And then over time, the political influences, overwhelm and that's what it gets spent on.
Yeah, but here's, you and I have a little bit of a friction point here. You tend to be a little bit more towards the climate stuff than I am. I'm not getting into that, but the idea that the state of Washington is somehow going to reduce the Earth temperature is absurd. And even if somehow everybody were to agree to economically disadvantage themselves, right? What is the total cost I've seen it $100 and some trillion across the world to destroy the economies across the world, to reduce the Earth's temperature by 0.02, whatever those numbers are, because all of these are based on projections. But could you ever imagine going in and selling that to somebody? Hey, we're going to tax the crap out of every single person that puts gas in their car in the state of Washington with its 8 million people, with 3 million or 4 million drivers. And we're going to do our part to reduce the Earth's temperature. How many people would raise their hand and say, yeah, that's a good idea? It makes zero sense. But yet, it's in place. We have the third highest gas tax. Our roads are ranked 43rd in the nation. So take the money and just blow it out your rear end into a bunch of bull crap projects where you use the word community. And everybody's supposed to feel good about it. There, get out the paddles. I'm going to have a heart attack. Go ahead. You can finish. You get the final word.
So since this is analogy hour, I will provide an analogy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that climate change, I agree with you that the risk is dramatically overblown, but there is risk. And I think that the analogy that I use is like sewage, right? If you pour the amount of sewage that you're responsible for pouring into a stream or river or something like that is very tiny. So you could say, why should I do anything because I have a small impact? But obviously you do have an impact and you're responsible for that. Now the choice is, if I said, okay, okay, great, I'm responsible. What do I owe you? And you said $1 million. Then you would say, well, that's ridiculous, right? I'm not doing anywhere close to that amount of damage. That doesn't make any sense. They said, well, but you admitted that you're causing problems. I think that's the issue, is that we can admit that climate change is a risk, but the policy has to fit the risk. And right now it does not, because we're spending money and we're not getting the benefit. That, I think, is where people, the argument that you make is completely valid, which is our impact is so small, so the cost should be very small. And if the cost is not small, then it doesn't make any sense. And that's the problem. The one thing I want to leave people with is, it's very easy to get despondent, and it's very easy to complain and say nothing will change. And I just simply don't think that is true. I work in this every day, and I wouldn't do this if I didn't think we could change things. I think people need to engage. They need to tell their legislators. We can make things better. And so while it's frustrating right now, and while I think there's a lot of things to complain about, I don't think people should give up. Your engagement can make a difference.
Well, Coach, I'll get out there and get him in the second half. Thank you.
That's right.
I needed that. I feel better now. I had another analogy. I'll save it for another time. There he goes. Thanks, Todd.
Comes
Washington's Policy Center, Todd. Thank you, Todd. All right, there we go. Go, Nate. Checking traffic, Nathan.
All right, Seattle to Federal Way. We've improved to 40 minutes. Still heavy from South Boeing Field to 405, but once you get to 405, it clears out right away. Up in Bothell, we cleared our collision north 405 and northeast 195th. Your bumper-to-bumper backup, though, starts at 520. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 15 minutes, 1 hour just to Linwood, but things will start to improve now that we cleared this collision out of your way. Seattle to Everett, just 40 minutes, 25 minutes to Linwood. North 5 heading into Seattle from the south. Your scattered backups from West Seattle to the Ship Canal Bridge, about a half hour through downtown Seattle. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway at 40 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I know what it's like. You watch the hair begin to thin, that crown disappears, and then that hair loss just starts to rob you of your identity. That is exactly what I felt before I visited Advanced Hair. You see, Advanced Hair has a simple one-day treatment. They regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you. Because as you look in the mirror and you notice it's thinning, and maybe you notice in the shower there's some extra hair there, or maybe there's some hair on the pillow, and that just simply means it's going away. It's not coming back. So you have two choices to make. One, you can just settle in with the fact that you're going bald, or get your hair back. So let's assume you'd like your hair back. Most people would. So here's what you got to do. Set up a free consultation, get $250 off. $250 free hair graft. Just give them a call at 425-449-8185. And you don't want to wait, because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. You have nothing to lose. And you get this. Advanced Hair is once again the 425 Business of the Year. That's 2 years in a row. So give them a call at 425-449-8185. Check them out online at advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Listening to me with your earbuds up on the roof? It's not worth it. Jake Skorheim here. Valentine Roofing is giving everyone 1 year of free roof maintenance when you purchase a new roof this month. That's professional care keeping you safely on the ground. And with flexible financing available and payments as low as $159 a month, Valentine sure makes it easy. So stay off your roof. Instead, call 206 Roofing and schedule your free estimate. Then reserve your spot on their spring schedule. Call 206 Roofing today.
John Curley here. A Lennox heat pump does the work of a furnace and air conditioner. And right now, get Lennox heating and cooling for the price of AC. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the Comfort People, Home Comfort Alliance. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper, speaking for the first time in person since Saturday's start of the U.S.-Israel military mission in Iran, which has led to the deaths of many of Iran's regime, including its supreme leader. President Trump responds,
"This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime."
More from CBS's Nancy Cordes.
He said it's a possibility. He said he doesn't foresee needing boots on the ground, but that he is certainly willing to keep that door open. And that is just one of the things that he has said today that indicate that this is going to be a longer-term prospect, this conflict, than he had perhaps initially signaled.
The U.S. military says 6 troops have been killed since Saturday. Leave now is the warning from the U.S. State Department to Americans in a dozen Middle Eastern countries due to the security situation. CBS's Cammie McCormick with that.
The U.S. Embassy in Israel is telling Americans they can take vehicles operated by the Israeli Ministry of Tourism to evacuate the country. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in a video post.
You have to register with STEP, and here's where you do it. You go to step.state.gov. That's step.state.gov and register so we can reach you.
There's already travel chaos in the region with flights canceled and airports closed. Even military evacuations are difficult with airspace closures.
The conflict with Iran is shaking energy markets, especially as Iran retaliates against oil-producing countries in the region. Oil analyst Tom Closa says prices at the pump were already heading up due to spring adjustments.
I don't think gasoline is going to be the problem, though. I think the problem is going to be diesel. And if you remember in 2022, diesel really fueled inflation across the spectrum in North America. And I think that's worrisome at the moment.
A jury in Georgia will begin deliberating tomorrow in the trial of Colin Gray. He is accused of providing his son Colt with the weapon and ammunition used in the September 2024 shooting at Appalachia High School northeast of Atlanta. 2 students and 2 teachers were killed in the shooting. Barrow County prosecutor Patricia Brooks.
After seeing sign after sign of his son's deteriorating mental state, his violence, his school shooter obsession, the defendant has sufficient warning that his son was a bomb just waiting to go off. And instead of disarming him, he gave him the detonator.
Colin Gray has pleaded not guilty to more than 25 charges, including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
As the U.S. attacks Iran, Washington's congressional delegation weighs in. That's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, all in all, it's looking pretty good out there. Our earlier major issues seem to be clearing out, and that includes Bellevue to Everett. But still, a lengthy hour, 10-minute commute, 55 minutes to Linwood, with a thick backup from 520 up to 522 in Bothell, where we recently cleared a collision. Seattle to Everett, just 40 minutes, 25 minutes to Linwood. It's a half-hour commute through downtown Seattle on northbound I-5. You're looking at scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, it's a half hour on 520. You'll jam up at mid-span over to I-5. It's just 15 minutes on I-90, just a little crowding across the lake. Bellevue to Renton, plan on about a half hour. North 405, we're slow from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 40-minute commute. Off and on, slowing from Renton into Auburn. You'll catch a little break, and then pretty heavy from about Pacific into Puyallup. Tacoma to Olympia, looking great at just 35 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Members of Washington's congressional delegation are reacting to the U.S. military strikes in Iran. Representative Adam Smith, a Democrat, is the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee.
We're in a full-scale Middle East war. We don't know exactly what it is that success would look like. What are we trying to accomplish? And how long is it going to last?
Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner calls the attack important and necessary. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with more.
Baumgartner responded to critics who say Trump acted outside the powers granted to him as president.
Main people that are saying it's illegal are also the same people that said nothing when President Obama attacked Libya. Or said nothing when we were using justifiably military force against the Houthis.
He says he fears potential terror attacks in retaliation. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Now, the attacks in the Middle East could have an impact on a World Cup match right here in Seattle. Iran is supposed to play Egypt in June at Lumen Field. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Ming-Lavin says that match may be in doubt.
The state-backed Iranian Soccer Federation could refuse to send one of its best teams in years here, or the U.S. government could actually block the team. Now, if Iran does not play, FIFA would replace them. FIFA could call up Iraq after they advanced in a playoff tie back in November, or pick a different team altogether.
And we have reached out to both FIFA and the Seattle Local Organizing Committee for comments. Seattle police are looking for a suspect who shot a legally blind man in the Chinatown International District this morning. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with details.
The shooting happened just after 11 o'clock near 5th Avenue South and South Weller Street. The victim, 40 years old, was shot twice in the leg and the suspect fled before police arrived. SPD Detective Eric Munoz.
As far as we can tell, this was a completely random attack that targeted a legally blind man.
The victim is expected to survive. If you have any information, call the SPD Violent Crimes Tip Line at 206-233-5000. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And now to the forecast. We're looking at clear skies right now, increasing clouds overnight, some spotty rain in the morning, mostly cloudy, and then increasing showers as the day goes on tomorrow. Right now, looking at 56 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Okay.
I like listening to the John Curley Show because now I know where to take my car when it's broken down. I also know where to take my hormones when they're broken down.
Yes, good.
I also know where to take my receding hairline when it's broken down.
Oh, okay.
And I know what aches to eat. I like listening to the John Curley Show because of all those reasons. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. There we go. The man's got a lot of things. He's ready to. If anything breaks down on him, he knows where he's going.
That's right.
And eggs.
And eggs.
But I think what he's basically saying is there's a lot of commercials. A lot of informative commercials that one has a chance to hear over and over again.
And a lot of fabricated pieces on John Curley.
There's nothing fabricated.
Oh,
enhanced?
Yes, there you go.
But I'm using my own natural.
Uh-huh.
All that stuff. All right, Joe, don't be stepping in it, and then I got to try to clean it off your shoe. Dive into Teeny's gone again, taking off on Monday.
Oh, wow. Jeez, I didn't even realize that.
It's all right. I actually turned Joe into like a second wife. So on Friday and Saturday night, I'm in Reno. I'm going to raise money for the Boys and Girls Club and this auction. And I had bought this shirt, this cowboy shirt, in Carson City. Man, Reno, no offense to anybody from Reno, but man, what a aesthetically challenged state or city that Reno is. Whew. Lady's like, you should go to Carson. That's our capital. It's really nice. It's like, oh my God. I bought a cowboy shirt down there. And before I went on stage, I thought, I don't know. I don't want to get, it looks a little, it could easily move into the Fay area. You know what I mean? So I sent a picture to Joe saying, I'm thinking of wearing this. And what did you write back? Somebody like,
when in Reno.
Yeah, I did wear it. And it was like wearing a mattress on stage. It was heavy polyester. I had to change out of it. I walked out and I said, hey, everybody, I bought this in Carson. And somebody got out, you paid too much. All right, lost the audience right off the top. All right, let's see. We're going to have a little bit more Iran stuff. I like the fact that the news, CBS News, this could take longer than 2 days. You're no kidding. What are they saying? 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it is.
4 to 5 weeks is the fun early estimation.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone like it's a
war,
strategic military strike. It's a kinetic energy. Isn't that what the Obama used to refer to it as? Yeah, kinetic. Look that up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a kinetic war. Anyone use the word? No, they don't use war. Kinetic energy or something like that. All right, so here's the president announcing the attack on Iran.
Today, the United States military continues to carry out large-scale combat operations in Iran to eliminate the grave threats posed to America by this terrible terrorist regime. Following our obliteration of Iran's nuclear program in Operation Midnight Hammer a short while ago, we warned Iran not to make any attempt to rebuild at a different location because they were unable to use the ones that we so powerfully blew up. But they ignored those warnings and refused to cease their pursuit of nuclear weapons. In addition, the regime's conventional ballistic missile program was growing rapidly and dramatically, and this posed a very clear, colossal threat to America and our forces stationed overseas. The regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America.
This is where you need Ross Perot. You know, Ross Perot used to be at IBM, and then he went and started his own payroll company. And he paid, I forget what year it was, he paid to go on television for a half hour worth of TV, and he used charts. Let me show you something. Now, here's a chart. It was funny. My father he was the boss ahead of Ross Perot. So Ross Perot was under my dad at IBM. And when Ross Perot came on television with all those charts, he said you could tell he'd been trained by IBM. IBM was big into charts. He's not, look at this. You see this? Here's the amount of money we're spending here. This is where it's going. This is where the chart, see all this, the X, Y axis goes up. If the president without using Ross Perot's voice, were to show you a map and explain, okay, so an oil tanker, these super tankers have to make their way through the Hormuz Strait right through, and they got to go past this country, and then they got to go past this country, and they got to pass this other country, and they got to maneuver through there. Now, if they close off that strait, and no oil gets through, that oil go all the way down and around through here, which is going to take more time, more money, and raise the price of everything. So, what are we going to do? We got to make sure that strait where all those big super tankers go through are able to get through. I mean, if you were to use charts, explain now, if somebody wants to go in there and block that strait so we can't get the stuff through, you're not going to get any of your stuff. Or the stuff that you're going to get is going to cost more money. And they're in there doing it. If you used, rather than just reading from him, he sounds like he's half asleep.
Earlier today.
When's this one? This has to be earlier. This is the same time? So he announces the attack, and now earlier.
CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more.
Oh, my God. If you're a mother or father or brother or sister or friend, relative in any way, of knowing somebody that loses their life in war, I mean, there's no, somebody coming to the door at whatever time and bringing you the news, the president saying, that's the way it is. I mean, yikes. All right, speculating on the timeline.
We have the strongest and most powerful by far military in the world, and we will easily prevail. We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
Okay, so what happened was, for the last couple of months, Israel has been tracking the Ayatollah. They're using Claude. Now, they use Claude just to sort of know where he was moving. So they said, okay, in the morning, he likes to get a cup of coffee, has a cigarette, goes to the bathroom. He's sitting in this toilet. Then he likes to go over here, go shopping here and there. He gets his beard trimmed here and there. So they were tracking him, knowing where he was. They had CIA and Israeli secret forces being tipped off as to where he's going. They then were going to plan on attacking at night. But when they heard that the Ayatollah and I think 30 others, altogether about 40 of them, are all going to be at some place in the afternoon at this one location, that's when okay, let's move it up. Now we know where he is, so let's go in there and just blow it all up. So I think they went in with 30 bombs or something like that and took out the leader and everybody else that was with him. So that's how they were able to go and get him. The story about a school being blown up and a bunch of young kids dying as well, I think, they started originally to attribute that to the United States and Israel, but have they backed off that through other sources to find that it was actually somebody else? Or is that...
No, not that I've seen.
Okay.
I've just seen that number grow to 150, I think.
Okay. Marco Rubio was asked, why now?
The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's 2 reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
Okay. So they knew Israel was going to attack. Then they knew that there would be counterattacks. So they thought the U.S. would get involved and just help out with Israel. Fine. Now the question is, everybody's like, well, what about sleeper cells? What about additional attacks coming? And who's going to take over for the Ayatollah? They're going to get somebody else in there? Is that person going to be able to negotiate with the United States? The people of Iran are tired of this country being constantly in defiance of the world. They're like, let it open things up. We'd rather be able to be partners rather than always on a war footing. Inflation is high. Just generally the oppression that comes with a theocracy, which has the religion at top, government underneath, and everybody has to live underneath that we're done with it. So whether there's going to be a groundswell of support that all of a sudden the people of the streets go to the streets and then the next person coming forward, is that going to be somebody that is going to provide freedom for everybody? How deep is the Ayatollah's connection with everyone else, and what comes next? It's always the Pottery Barn theory that we heard from Colin Powell. Once you break it, that you own it, right? And you then have to get in there and hope that you have some sort of peace as a result of it. You don't see Iraq necessarily out there still bombing or threatening the United States. Iran still being the problem. But, of course, I said at the very beginning of the show, it's not Iran, it's China. Just follow the money. Oh, you found some Ross Perot? Ross Perot. Yeah, he was the first politician to buy time like a infomercial.
Good evening. Tonight we're going to talk about how to solve the problems that we defined that face our country.
Yeah, Ross Perot.
I think we can come to the conclusion immediately with this quote.
He has charts.
History repeats itself.
Yeah.
The budget should be balanced.
Yeah.
The treasury should be refilled. Public debt should be reduced. The arrogance of public officials should be controlled.
Okay, then here he is. This is one of his charts, right?
We're $4.1 trillion in debt. That's a staggering burden to pass to our children. It's unconscionable. Just this year, we ran up $341 billion in new debt. And as we discussed the other night, that's our legislators and our president trying to buy our vote this year with what used to be our money.
They flips that one big chart down. He's got another one right there. He's got a little pointer.
We're not that dumb. What used to be $1 in 1950 is now 18 cents. No wonder both parents are working, some of them 2 jobs, just to make ends meet. Running the value of the dollar down is really hurting the people in our country.
And he flips over to another chart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Apparently we are that dumb. That was what year? 1992?
Oh, you heard the debt?
Yeah. 4.7 trillion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just keep spending money, everybody, because don't forget, we want to help all these poor people that need all this stuff in order to, help the community. No, what you want to do is you want to keep your job. Last part of it is, by the way, what has anybody said when I did my big long rail that it's not the U.S. It's not U.S. against Iran. It's U.S. against China.
We could run the gamut. I mean, some people think you're right on the money. Some people think it's all.
I'm just checking.
Just checking in.
Checking in because it's something. Again, the focus on this stuff that you hear in the news or some other place. How many people, how many missiles, and what are they doing, and how long does it last? And Trump's a horrible person, and Adam Smith, one of our congressmen that's been in there all these years, this is wrong. Trump should have gone to Congress. It's not. Again, I say it again. It's not about Iran. It's about China. But that's the bigger picture of it. But that's not what you hear in the news. And everybody's poll shows most Americans were not behind the president when he didn't get the approval of the American people. That's going to hurt him in the polls. Stuff's like, there's nothing to do with the big issue.
I still think that if you told people that, it would go much further.
What did the listeners of the John Curley Show say?
Okay, Paul in T-Town said, great segment, John. Give Joe a map. Tom says, now Trump has his big, beautiful war.
Okay, right. Yeah, there we go. Right.
206 says, they've been saying Iran's going to have a nuke since 1992. The problem I see with bombing Iran is there's no plan afterwards.
Okay.
Let's see.
Benny that's about Iran. They think it's about Iran. It's about China.
Then say it. Why?
That's a listener wrote that, Joe.
Well, I mean, but I think if it's about China, then shouldn't we say it's about China? I think most people can agree that that's a bigger threat. I don't think anybody thinks Iran was a threat.
It's not Iran. Iran is part of it. Iran, that's where the missiles come from. There's been 180 attacks from the coast of Yemen. Where? Iran did it. Who gave Iran the money? Who gave them the missiles? China. Why? Because if you can interrupt the transfer of our ports, if you can interrupt the transfer of materials, if you can slow down and add to the additional cost of oil or anything else, you disrupt the U.S. economy. What else do? You cause us to have to take our military and put it somewhere else. Now it's over there. It's costing us money. It's running up the cost of the United States. You are slowly but surely taking small little chunks away from the U.S., you are weakening the United States so that you rise to power. They want to be number one. They've told us that. They spent, since 1993, they've increased their military budget by 900%. And with a time when Biden was in there, we were making sure that we had men dressed as women, that we were giving positions so we would all feel good about ourselves, China laughed at us. Again, there is a book to read if you want to get unbelievably depressed about what's happening in the United States and the war that will come. We tried to get him on. I think we tried to get him on. And it's basically, let me see if I can find it. I read it. I'm trying to find it in my audiobooks.
But why is China the secret
the kill
enemy?
chain. It's called The Kill Chain. And again, if you want to just throw yourself out the window, read the book first and then toss yourself out a window, or put a tennis ball in the back of your car and turn it on the back of the exhaust pipe and turn it on. You'll read exactly how China intends to destroy and take over America. It doesn't want to take us off the map. It doesn't want to kill all of us. This is not an atomic bomb. This is an economic bomb. They want us. They like 335 million of us buying their stuff. They just don't like the fact that we're under them. They want to be on top. They'll be number one. They'll build everything. We'll buy all of our drugs, prescription drugs and illegal drugs. We'll buy all of our cars, everything else from them. They want us around. They don't want to kill us. They just want to be on top of us. That's all. The Kill Chain is the name of the book, which basically lays out how within 15 minutes the war would be over. Kill Chain. What else? Sorry, I've stunned you all. Well, I look at you. You represent the listener.
I know, but why? If China is such a threat, economically or physically or in any way, then why not just come right out and say that?
They know. Say what?
Say that to
we're going to go to war against China?
Yeah.
You want to declare that?
Why is it like this secret proxy war through Iran? Why not just put the cards on the table and say what's really going on?
And then what happens? So we're now going to go to war. We're declaring. Then everybody go, wait a minute, you're declaring war with China?
So it's this big open secret that we just pretend that we're waging war through the Middle East?
We are slowly but surely countering what they are doing. They want to be able to have Iran be the place where they get their oil cheap, and Iran is the place where they can encourage a bunch of people to go ahead and cause problems in the Red Sea, adding to the cost. Ultimately, what they want is Taiwan. They want Taiwan for the chips, plus also they want to be able to control that area through the Taiwan Straits. They want to be able to slow stuff down or speed things up. They just want America to be number two. They want to be number one. That's all.
But I guess I just don't understand how this stops that.
Because this stops them from getting cheap oil from Iran. That's a big part of it.
That's okay.
And it stops all their terrorists from being able to have places to bomb people from.
Hey.
All right, never mind.
Hey.
I don't know. I'm just in here just trying to get your hair replaced.
Right.
Like me.
If my hairline ever breaks down, I know where to take it.
Yeah, you get a haircut all the time. You wish you had hair like mine. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, this report brought to us by the Emerald Queen Casino. For most, it's a Monday light commute out there, but not all. Bellevue to Everett still right around an hour commute, 45, 50 minutes just to Linwood. Got a hefty backup between 520 and 527 in Canyon Park, stemming from an earlier collision. Seattle to Everett, we're practically all clear now. Just minor crowding through Linwood to get through. It's taken 35 minutes to get through downtown Seattle, northbound I-5. Scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal Bridge. Westbound 520, you're packed at the Arboretum to I-5. Westbound 90 heading into Seattle is wide open. South 405, we're bumper to bumper from Mid-Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway, where we recently cleared a stall out of your way. Bellevue to Renton's at a half-hour drive. Seattle to Federal Way, a half hour. You're slow from Interurban Avenue to South 260th. North 5 at State Route 512 in Lakewood. We've got a collision blocking that right lane. This is also partially blocking the on-ramp. And westbound 512 is packed at the South Hill Curve over to Canyon Road. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190 April 25th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
You know that feeling when your house finally feels like it's organized? People do a lot of spring cleaning where they clean everything out, they throw stuff away, they get everything organized. Just makes you feel better when everything has got its place. So if your closets are bursting at the seams, it's time to call the pros. They're at Closets by Design. Right there in Seattle, every job is completely customized. They don't design with some pre-used stuff or pre-made stuff. They don't come in there with a bunch of parts from some competitor and try to jam it all in. It is truly customized. Closets by Design are the highest grade products, and they make sure that the design consultation is exactly what you like, but they come up with additional ideas that you hadn't even thought of before, and you get luxury, but without the big luxury price. Closets by Design, big savings, 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. This is a locally owned, trusted company. They've come to the barn there in Cle Elum and did great work. You're going to love working with Closets by Design. 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule a free consultation. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Rick was experiencing some pain in his knee.
Once I retired and really just golfed constantly, I think it kind of exacerbated.
It was getting to be too much for him.
It got to the point where I just almost couldn't sleep. I wanted to try anything to avoid surgery.
So instead, he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Yeah, I talked to him and he said, well, Rick, it's a new knee or we do the stem cell.
Since the procedure, Rick is back doing what he loves to do.
Here I am, golfing and enjoying it.
And now it's not just his knee. Rick has had stem cell treatment for both of his shoulders, his hip, and...
He did my thumbs.
So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, knee, and thumb like Rick, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good evening, I'm Aaron Granello. 2 more U.S. service members have been killed in the war with Iran, raising the death toll to 6. President Trump speaking today from the White House.
This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime.
The president says it could take 4 to 5 weeks for the U.S. to reach its goals. He also warns it could take longer. CBS's Cammie McCormick has the latest from Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Rubio indicated the mission is far from over.
I'm not going to give away the details of our tactical efforts, but the hardest hits are yet to come from the U.S. military. The next phase will be even more punishing on Iran than it is right now.
And he said the U.S. objective is to destroy Iran's ballistic missile program.
And while we would love to see a new regime, the bottom line is no matter who governs that country a year from now, they're not going to have these ballistic missiles and they're not going to have these drones to threaten us.
He also said the administration has prepared for the impact to energy prices and will be announcing new measures to counter that.
And as the conflict rattles energy markets, Iran is retaliating against oil-producing countries in the region. Iran also has now closed the Strait of Hormuz. James Baikalis follows oil and gas for Politico.
In general, we've seen some reports already of prices going up, especially for wholesale diesel. And so we're going to be continuing to watch over the next couple of days to see if that translates into a significant increase for American consumers.
20% of the world's oil and gas flow through the strait along Iran's southern border. Our neighbor to the north are changing their clocks for the last time this Sunday. British Columbia says it will adopt permanent year-round daylight saving time. Premier David Eby says the changes come after years of complaints about sleep disruption and safety issues. Washington State has expressed interest in doing the same, but Congress has not yet approved it. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:33. We check in with Nate Connor.
And this one's brought to us by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. It's days like this when we see more motorcycles on the commute, so keep an eye out. Bellevue to Everett still taking lengthy 55 minutes, 45 just to Linwood. Solid backup from 520 to 527 in Canyon Park, and you're stuck in second gear through Kirkland. Seattle to Everett, we've already cleared out. It's 35 minutes northbound I-5 through downtown Seattle with scattered backups between the West Seattle Bridge and the Ship Canal. Westbound 520, you're packed at the Arboretum over to I-5. Westbound 90 is all clear heading into Seattle. South 405 is solid from mid-Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton will take you a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way still hovering at a half hour. You're slow from Interurban Avenue down to about South 260th heading into Federal Way. North 5 at State Route 512 in Parkland. We've got a collision blocking that right lane, also partly blocking that on-ramp. And on the water, the Point Defiance Terminal reports a 1-hour wait for drivers. The Port Townsend-Coopville ferry route will cancel a few sailings this evening due to low tides, and that includes a 6:45 out of Port Townsend and the 7:30 departure out of Coopville. It's home show season. Like Washington Windows and Doors is giving you 20% off, plus 12 months, same as cash financing. Visit them at the home shows or lakewashingtonwindows.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Now to your forecast. Looking at a nice evening right now. Beautiful sunset, clear skies. That changes overnight. Clouds increasing, some spotty showers in the morning, and then increasing rain by the afternoon. Highs will be in the low 50s. Right now, 57 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
We're going to go from Wilcox. Teeny's not even here. Where'd you put her?
I didn't put her anywhere. I haven't seen her today. She's calling sick. Oh.
Where is she?
She's under the TV.
Is she really? Yeah. Teeny, can you spin the wheel from there, please? She's practically on her way out. Wilcox Family Farm Bank's recipe wheel. Names of all the players have been installed on the wheel, and they're breaking right, landing on Joe. Joe, they're playing you there. I'm sure you got some sort of conspiracy about the eggs going to the Epstein Isle or something like that.
Actually, no. I got my eggs from Wilcox Family Farms. They sell them at Costco. They're wonderful. And I put them in a pan this morning with some onions, some red bell peppers, some green bell peppers, and some little bit of not what do they call it? Beyond Meat sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I made a little scramble out of that. It was delicious.
All right, thank you, Joe. There it is, official Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe. Thank you, Joe. And Teeny, we'll try to get you back up to a place of honor. She used to spin around on the thing, and now she's under the TV.
Well, it's strange days around here.
Okay, that must be what it is. All right, we're going from Iran and the war and China and all that other stuff to The thing that everybody's talking about, was that Jim Carrey at the French award ceremony over the weekend? Or was it an imposter?
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling.
Okay, so he gets an award. He gives, if they believe it was Jim Carrey, gives the award, gives the response to the thing, and his acceptance in French. He thinks we're pretty proud of that. Then he speaks to people afterwards. Does this sound like Jim Carrey?
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. I really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French. So, I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy. But, it's, then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there.
Here's the weird thing about Jim Carrey, and there's much. So first of all, he's crazy Jim Carrey. Then he goes on television against Larry King with his girlfriend, and they talk about vaccines and autism and things like that. Then I think she dies, of suicide. I forget who it was his girlfriend. Then he goes publicly with, we need to forgive and we need to have grace for recognition that everybody gets a chance to, fail, but then come back, and we're not going to hate anybody. He hates Trump, then Trump's out, and then while Trump comes back in again, then he just makes all this artwork, all this anti-Trump stuff, and like he went back to not being caring, loving Jim Carrey. And he had a long beard. He got all kind of super duper weird. He went on David Letterman back in 1999 explaining that he's okay with having body doubles to help him distract the paparazzi.
Now, we were talking about Jim's problem with the as he calls them, the stalkerazzi.
This is the
phrase
that I coined.
They stalk you. He coined that. He came up with that.
Yeah.
So how do you handle it? What is the solution? Because a lot of folks would be interested in this. What do you do?
I've done this a few times now, and it's using a decoy.
I'm sorry, a decoy?
Using a decoy. It sounds so ridiculous, but it works like a charm.
Like a double.
It's fantastic.
Like a Jim Carrey double.
A Jim Carrey double.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
So what I do is I send him off in one direction, sucks all the press in that direction, and I can just have my day. And
whatever you want to do.
Wherever I want, totally unmolested. It's fantastic.
Right.
And,
well, they say the best ideas are the simplest ones, and this really couldn't be more simple.
It really is amazing.
I'm sure it works.
Really works.
So why is the story that he wasn't at the French Awards and it was somebody else? Because some guy that makes prosthetics
came out today, but the story that something was weird about Jim Carrey, either he had all this plastic surgery or that wasn't him, started blowing up everywhere over the weekend. Then on Monday to this morning, this guy comes out and says, "Oh, hey, that by the way, here's me in my prosthetics appearing as Jim Carrey at this French awards show." And if you look at, and this guy's name is Alexis Stone, and by the way, Jim Carrey's his public relations people have come out and said, "Oh no, that was Jim. He was there. There's no story here." But this guy came out and claimed it and said that was him. And he's got 1.4 million followers. He's using that picture of Jim Carrey on his. So if that was not his picture, they could tell him to take it down, no problem. And he would have to. It's the most bizarre story.
He could have gotten work done.
Sure.
Who's the guy that says that he does this?
Alexis Stone.
And did Alexis Stone pose as Jim Carrey?
Yeah, I mean, he posted a picture of him that looks exactly like Jim Carrey did yesterday at this event in France. And he posted a picture of what he claims is the prosthetic face that he used and the teeth that he used. And if you scroll down his feed, you'll see him doing a bunch of other people like Glenn Close and Jack Nicholson, and they look ridiculously real. And they're absolutely not Glenn Close or Jack Nicholson. They're caricatures.
But not only that, but he has to stand up and be the same height as Jim Carrey. Plus, he has to try to sound like Jim Carrey. And then he has to sound like Jim Carrey speaking French.
Yeah, it is the weirdest story, but
Is this all part of the distraction from the Epstein files?
Probably at this point.
Okay. Well, why would anybody? Well, Jim Carrey doesn't want to go. He'd want somebody else to go. Caesar Awards talks Jim Carrey clone conspiracy theory with statement. For me, it's a non-issue. I just remember his generosity, his kindness, his benevolence, and his elegance, whoever that guy is. Okay, fine. Jim Carrey, even though people write him off as kind of nuts, he has said some stuff about you want to go into rabbit holes with Jim Carrey. Have you seen this things he talks about?
No.
You two would be good friends right now. The place you've been going.
Well,
Joe.
I did see in the early days of this whole Epstein thing that there was this video of him on I can't remember which late night show, but he kept saying, "Oh yeah, this is there's this sign people make and it's all."
Oh
about
yeah, the sign. Don't you know the sign? Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what he's talking about. Okay, fine. Yeah, there's the music.
So you might have just pieced it together for me. It is cover for Epstein.
Fine. Okay. For a Monday, it's so much stuff.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, so now that the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz has been closed, right? They got it blocked down. So is that what Aaron had reported on? The Strait is closed.
That's what he said.
Blocked. So now that adds another 7 to 10 days. Plus, now all of those freighters with oil has to go by Yemen. And then the question is, do any of the proxy terrorists that were in Yemen that had attacked before, will they be attacking again? You just want to disrupt oil. As they say in Landman, that show, it's all about oil. Everything's about oil.
Okay, follow-up question.
Everything is about oil. The whole world runs on it.
But the Strait was working a couple days ago. Why disrupt it now?
Well, who's blocking it?
I'm assuming whoever's left in Iran, right?
It would be some of the same terrorists that were part of Iran.
Right.
Yes.
But that's a direct result of the attacks on Iran.
Yes, exactly. So now, so you're going to get Iran, but they still have the rest of their friends that like. Right. But who's paying them? It all goes back to Jim Carrey. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nate.
Yes, sir. Bellevue to Everett taking 45 minutes, 35 to Linwood as we start to really improve now. Still got a solid backup from 520 to 5270 Canyon Park. South 5 slows at the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. Linwood to Seattle just 15 minutes, and that includes a little more slowing up there in Linwood. 35 minutes still to make it through downtown Seattle on northbound I-5 with scattered backups between West Seattle and the Ship Canal Bridge. Westbound 520 jams up at the Arboretum to I-5. South 405, you're slow at 520 down to Cold Creek Parkway, and then things open up for you. Got another backup, though, heading into South Center, starting at the Valley Freeway, where we've got a new collision blocking your right lane by the West Valley Highway. So Bellevue to South Center right now, 30 to 35 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way is just a half hour. And in Parkland, North 5 at State Route 512, we've got this collision continuing to block the right lane. It's at the very end of the on-ramp, and now the on-ramp itself has been fully blocked by first responders. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found Tax Relief Advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got three options. Number one, sell your home. Two, get a HELOC or refinance. Or three, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046. Ever wonder how much energy it takes to power your life? Streaming shows, running appliances, even using AI to plan your next trip?
A lot, and it's growing fast.
So we need more energy, and it has to be clean and reliable.
Exactly. That's why Energy Northwest is exploring new ways to keep power flowing sustainably to meet the rising demand.
All this new technology is exciting, but we need the energy to keep up.
And Energy Northwest is making it happen.
Where do I learn more?
Energy-Northwest.com.
Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
Have you ever wondered how to use your tax return to reduce future taxes? Madrona Financial's 1040 Treasure Hunt is a free hands-on workshop that shows you how to analyze your return and uncover tax savings opportunities. This free event is happening March 3rd at 6 p.m. at Madrona's Kirkland office. RSVP at 833-673-7373 or visit madronafinancial.com/events to reserve your spot today.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
No time for a song, or Hudson just two
very short one, yeah.
Hudson.
That's enough.
That'll be good. There we go. Thank you, Hudson. We had letter of the day for us to take care of all the rest. Joe.
Dennis in Seattle says, what the heck is a Tommy Bahama shirt? I would like to give a special shout out to Twiggy. Thank you, reliable Nathan, for keeping an eye out for the motorcyclist.
Yes, thank you, Dennis, for that one. Doug in Mount Vernon says, is this gold foil hat part of the show? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Poke fun, but you wait and see.
Tumwater Bully said, did I just hear John talking to AI? Reminds me of the definition of Occam's razor.
Jay from the 98032. You need to go down the Jim Carrey rabbit hole. We tried.
Bob in Duval says, interesting just now listening to John have a conversation with the chatbot, eerily reminiscent of John having a conversation with Tom. I'll get the next one, too, because they're out of order.
Okay.
Cameron in the 206 says, convenient time to attack Iran. Epstein files and low approval ratings completely wipe wipe off the news, wall-to-wall coverage now. You back Trump in a corner, he will redirect attention. Nobody's better at it.
Steve O says, John's explanation on why Iran is now just what I need to reduce my ire at Trump. That's right. Oh, okay.
206 says, just move on. Just time to move on, John. Joe doesn't care about any of this. The only thing that's upsetting him is that he's wasting all his time on the stupid Epstein crap. Now he's afraid everyone is going to forget about it like they should.
No. Joe's got that thing well covered. Paul in T-Town says, great segment, John. Give Joe a map. It's not Joe's not the guy I'm beating up on.
360 says, you're absolutely correct. Red China is a red herring. The U.S. is so heavily connected to China that our ports would be empty and Amazon would be out of business. Nice try, Curly. This is wag the dog for sure, and most Americans with an even room temperature IQ know exactly where Iran is. P.S. I love Curly as a human. Just don't always agree with every take.
Really? What did he say? Most people know where Iran is on a map?
If they have a room temperature IQ?
A room, okay. Let's see. Trump now this is his big, beautiful war, according to Tom in Marysville.
206 says, first of all, they've been saying Iran is going to have a nuke since 92. The biggest problem I see is no plan afterwards.
Okay, let's see. Benny, the tugboat expert, and he is. Iraq, the second time, was approved by Congress and the Senate, and Hillary Clinton voted for it.
202 says, in 2002, a joint session resolution was passed authorizing the use of force in Iraq.
Right. The authorization of use of force. It wasn't a declaration of war.
Let me get to the next one, too. Mike in Portland says, John, if you give people an hour to find a map, find Iran on a map, the shocking thing would be how few people could find it. It would be shocking how many people think France is in South America.
Yeah, Aaron in Duval says, why now? Can't have those Epstein files getting out.
Andrew K. says they should call the current operation in Iran Operation Epstein. Bibi has dirt on Trump.
Oh, wow. Lance in Manchester says, how about if Trump cannot bomb any country that he cannot find on a map? Bet he couldn't find any country. He has already bombed a map, even with hints, 2 hours to find them. Okay.
Max says, obviously cost is not a concern. Trump failed at negotiations, so he's killing his opponent.
Barbara in the 425 says, the Clinton was on Friday to have Trump questioned. Suddenly we are at the war on Saturday. Okay, yeah. Okay, everyone believes this is wag the dog.
360 says, there are holes in Curly's theory. Did I hear 11 declarations of war through Congress? Don't switch to Epstein yet.
The last one that they got permission was 1943.
I don't know. I would have to...
The Goy are doomed. 360. That's a quote from Epstein, I think.
That's right. Fernando in Seattle says, total lunacy, blaming China for Trump's lunacy. Talk about wagging the dog. MAGA is twisting itself in pretzels to defend Trump.
Okay. Sean in the 425 Venezuela, Iran, all about China. No takeaway oil. China crumbles. Duh.
Mike in Puyallup says, why now? Do you think there might be a coincidence that it began on the 11th day of Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, essentially the Islamic equivalent of 9/11?
I hadn't thought about that, Mike.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Good Lord, there were a lot.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Paul in Sammamish.
Okay, here we go.
Joe believes in aliens and Sasquatch, but he doesn't believe in China's supremacy philosophy or sinocentrism. Sinocentrism is an ideological blend of ancient cultural pride and modern ultranationalism, asserting that China is the world's central, superior, civilized, destined to lead.
Yeah, by the way, this is not beat up on Joe Day.
That's all she wrote.
Let's all leave it at that. Get Joe mad. Beat up on me. I can take it. I'm an adult. I'm a man. That's a speech from a coach. You ever heard that speech from that coach?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Here comes Nate. I can drive it. Yeah. Nathan?
Thanks, John. Let's see. This one brought to us by Seattle Sports. Tell you what, aside from downtown Seattle and Bellevue, we're all looking at light volumes, if not totally clear at this point. So let's start in Seattle. South 5 slows at 522 I-90, which isn't bad. Linwood to Seattle, less than 20 minutes, including a little crowding left through Linwood. It's taken 25 minutes to get through downtown Seattle North 5 with scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal Bridge still. Bellevue to Everett, 40 minutes. Half hour to Linwood. You've got scattered backups between 520 and 527 in Canyon Park. South 405 slows pretty thick, actually. It's Southeast 8th and Bellevue to Coal Creek Parkway. Then you clear out, got another brief backup near the VMAC in Renton, and then another solid backup from State Route 167 over to the West Valley Highway, where we have a crash blocking the right lane. Now, westbound 520 still jam-packed from the Arboretum to I-5. Westbound 90 heading into Seattle is all clear. And in Parkland, we still have a collision north 5 at State Route 512. It's blocking that right lane and fully blocking the on-ramp. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
You know that feeling you get when everything is organized? Maybe you're going to be heading in and have a spring cleaning. It's great. You sort of purge, make the 3 categories right, keep, donate, and toss. And when it's all done, maybe it takes you a day or 2 days, you look at everything, you're like, wow, this is nice. Look how much room we have. It just feels better. Now, maybe if spring cleaning is on your schedule, I'm going to remind you that you might want to have better storage, and that is where Closets by Design comes in. When they came to the barn, gosh, probably 8-9 months ago, put a brand new closet in the master bedroom. They did the other room as well. They went in there, they took a look at the garage. It is so nice to have a place for everything. When I said to Nick, if you want to go ahead and do that, I don't want to pay an arm and a leg, and I don't want the first one that pops up on Google. Please try to find a local company. She did. Closets by Design, family-owned, 22 years in the business, and man, I'm telling you, it is customized without the customized price. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing. Give them a call. Free consultation right there in your house. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill is diabolical, Ursula?
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
2 competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Jake Skorheim. March is the start of spring, as we all know, and my outdoor to-do list is already growing. Fortunately, Valentine Roofing has my back and yours when it comes to checking off those honey-do list jobs. And with Valentine's huge March promotion, they're not only going to take care of you this year, they have you covered for next year, too. This month only, you can get a free year of roof maintenance when you purchase a new roof. Then you can enjoy seasonal checkups and professional care to keep your new roof looking its best. Plus, they have flexible financing with payments as low as $159 a month. And the Valentine experience, as we all know, seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. So it's no surprise that Valentine Roofing was voted 2025 Gold Best Roofing Company in the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. To take advantage of Valentine's free year of roof maintenance when you purchase a new roof, call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1.